Wilhelm vie nakkikioskille kotikatsomossa.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
And everything seems like it's more than all right, because we are back again. The ECL Elite Division postseason is underway here at NHL Gamer. Sin, what an incredible season it was for those of you that joined us there for our little recap / playoff preview. We thank you. Sin, it's hard to believe that we're already here. The playoffs are ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, every season just seems like it flies by, especially one like this with how volatile it was in the standings. It seemed like there just simply wasn't enough time for everyone, and especially for some of those teams on the outside looking in by just a point or, just a few points. There's never quite enough time, but we have it. The top 8, they're here to battle it out, and we'll see who gets to move on here after this first round.
So again, welcome in everybody to this broadcast. Very excited to bring to you the first night of playoff action here. We will be kicking things off with the battle of the 4 and the 5 seeds, as we'll get you a look here at the regular season standings. But to kick things off, it is Färjestad. FBK take on recently promoted Goons, although I suppose you can't say recently promoted anymore. And of course, a little bit later on, the battle of 3 and 6 as HAVU Gaming take on YMCA Esports. And of course, that left-hand side of the bracket is where teams wanted to be all season long, came down to the wire to secure those final few spots. And just really an incredible season, all things considered. Really, when 2 out of 4 recently promoted teams make the playoffs, that is more than indicative of a shift in the ECL.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes to show, how many teams are, sort of waiting in the weeds, waiting for that opportunity to kind of make their name here. And Goons, I mean, 40 points in 30 games played. We've seen teams, make it into the playoffs being, relatively new, but Goons, they really seem to make a statement here. And what a statement they would make if they somehow supplanted Färjestad in this first round.
So we're getting a full look at the postseason bracket here. Of course, all the information you need on NHLGamer.com to continue to follow along here outside of these broadcasts. Of course, Philadelphia, our defending champions, take on last year's Pro Division champions who make the playoffs the first time of asking. The battle of 1 and 8, Philadelphia and IQ. And of course, the other matchup that we won't see in action here today, it is H-Reds and Poggers, who get over the hump after missing the playoffs, essentially by a goal the season prior. They are in the postseason here. Big task, of course, for the 3 teams that have to play our 3 highest seeds. But as Sin mentioned, very interesting matchup here, and we'll get down into the breakdown here. It is Färjestad and Goons to kick off this postseason as you get a look at the team stats from the regular season. And obviously, Sin, the offense, a slight advantage. I don't know if you can call 14 goals, though, a slight advantage for FBK.
Yeah, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, when you're looking at the entire season, it is a slight advantage. But here in the playoffs, it's that advantage becomes all the more wide when you have a team like Färjestad up there. I mean, they are one of those teams who can really kind of score in bunches, score at will at times. And if they get you on the back ropes early, it just seems to feed at that counterattack game. And with their special teams as well, I mean, huge advantage in that regard here. Goons really have their work cut out for them.
Absolutely. So with that, we'll take a look at the lineups here tonight. It is the exact squads that you would expect. Every single member of these 2 teams. Pretty much, actually, I'm mistaken. Afe missed 2 games. I was going to say, with the exception of Afe, everyone played the entirety of the season, which is a story that you might not see throughout the entirety of the postseason, but it goes to show the chemistry that these squads will have for Goons. It is one of the favorites for Rookie of the Year in Piku Roger, next to the captain, Kriketsi, and Jurgeli up top. Viba and a VP on defense, Finn Kona, the veteran between the pipes. On the flip side for Färjestad, Afe, the captain, Malin, and Antonio Manin, Furion, and Lehmanen's on defense, McSavid between the pipes. Where else would he be? And Sim, we'll start off this preview here, the comparisons between the 2, as we always do with the battle of the centers. And it is the 2 captains. It is Kriketsi and Malin. What stands out for you, Sin, based off of their regular season performance?
Well, I mean, what it comes down to is I point scoring. This has really been, again, I think one of the seasons where we really see centers jumping out and getting points in huge ways. I mean, Mullen was in the top 10 for scoring. Kriketsi, just 7 points behind him, so not too far behind. And both of these guys very capable defensively. We know how much Kriketsi loves to hit as well, so that's an element of his game that we're definitely gonna kind of see come to roost. But same thing for Mullen. I mean, both of these guys have kind of similar games, similar percentages and face-offs. It's, kind of like you're looking in the mirror here between these two guys.
I mean, you talked about the close nature of the performances from these two teams this season. Of course, it was 1 win, just 2 points separated these two teams. But talking about Kriketsi, by the way, as well, this was a thing that was pointed out to us here. Over his last 5 ECL seasons, the penalty minute count for him, 23, 19, 27, 20, and 34. He is a very aggressive player. This year, though, just 12 penalty minutes. And he has 111 hits as well, where normally he averages over 150. So you talk about someone dropping down to the pro division, trying to make things happen, and bringing back, a different style, and clearly it's worked out. We'll move over to the winger matchup here as well, again, for Goons. I mean, Sin, talk about a different style and who Kriketsi was playing with before compared to who he's playing with now. Pika Roger, again, a strong candidate for Rookie of the Year. There are quite a few that we'll see in the postseason here, starting off this week. Jurgli on the flip side as well. But, of course, you talk about how close they are. I mean, Afe and Antonio Mannin, I don't know if there's anyone close to Afe necessarily in terms of goal scoring, but for point production, these 4 are relatively close.
Yeah, I mean, they really are. It's comes down to almost, margin of error when you think about how close they are in that point scoring. Besides perhaps Afe, they have a very similar format. You got the goal scorer, you got the guy who passes a lot, and that's what it's going to come down to. I think between these two pairings is who's going to score them at the right time. They're both capable. They both have a great goal scorer and a game changing playmaker as well. So it's about as even as you get when it comes to the winger matchup.
Move over to the battle of the netmind, or not the netminder, but battle of the blue line as well. Of course, the defensive side of things, the shift I was looking for. We have Viba and VP for Goons, Furion and Lehmanens on defense. Sin, for the two defenders on Goons, of course, VP, the former Vilio, with a little bit more of elite experience. Of course, Viba, we've talked about a ton. I believe the youngest player here in the elite division. It's incredible how good he is at such a young age. But on the flip side, you have, I believe, Sin, the 2 most prolific point-producing defensemen in the elite division this season.
Yeah, and this is where, the gap widens pretty much with anyone that Färjestad has taken on, just, despite maybe, Philadelphia or H-Reds. But yeah, they always have that advantage in the defensive scoring. And when you look at Viba, VP, maybe not the points you would have expected, especially out of a guy like Viba, but perhaps, it's kind of indicative of him, taking a step back and paying more attention to his defensive game. You can't really call his defensive game weak, or else he wouldn't have helped, been here. But that was definitely something that he could have improved upon. And it looks like perhaps he took some strides, to help out for the team effort to improve upon that. And, Goons here in the playoffs in that 5th seed. So definitely something to look out for. But we've seen Viva in the playoffs in these clutch situations get a hat trick. So he seems to have that clutch gene in him in such a young age. That's something that's hard to develop. So we'll see perhaps if that'll come to roost here in this matchup.
A few minutes ago, I really jumped ahead of myself, but it's out of nothing more than pure excitement as we get to the battle of the goaltenders here. 2 of the best that the elite division, I'd say, have ever known. Finn Kona going up against McSavid. Sin, neither one of their numbers perhaps exactly where they would have wanted them, but still, this is one of the better goaltending matchups I think we could have possibly asked for in a playoff scenario.
Yeah, absolutely. Both of these guys, they were in the top 10 save percentage, 7 and 10 between McSavid and Finn Kona respectively. But yeah, you said it, perhaps numbers-wise not where they'd want to be, but when it comes to the playoffs, they both have that extra level to their game that they'd love to get to. And again, surprisingly, McSavid, not a single shutout registered throughout the course of the regular season, which is, kind of bizarre to say the least, given his skill level. But here in the playoffs, I mean, again, they each have that extra level. We've seen him make, enormous saves. We've seen McSavid stand on his head at times. So we'll see how it shakes out between these pair.
Like you said, the 0 shutouts there for McSavid. Shocking, all things considered. Had 3 last year. Only 1, though, back in Season 10. So despite the fact that he's someone who's always typically up there in terms of a high save percentage, shutouts haven't exactly been a staple of his game. Sin, with that, we are just about ready to go for the action here. But before then, of course, we will get to our 3 keys to success for these squads. We'll start off with Goons. Sin, what stands out for you here for them heading into this matchup?
Well, the first one here, are nerves going to be a factor? It is their first Elite Division test as a team, like here in the playoffs. So if they can keep their nerves in check, against a team like FBK, then they're really going to stand a chance and have a really good opportunity to move on into the next round. The second point here is with great power. This Goon squad is the most physical team in the Elite Division, really living up to their name. And that play style can really help to throw a team like Färjestad perhaps off their game, who like that counter attack. If you can kind of crush that with your physical play and, get some counterattacking of your own, that would be, a huge boon for you. And the last point here comes great responsibility. This team is also the most disciplined amongst all teams in the Elite Division, which is pretty nuts when it comes to, their physical game. And they're going up here against the best power play. They're going to have to keep that discipline in check, as they have done all season, because if you give this Färjestad team a chance, which we've seen them happen on, a couple occasions, they can really make you pay.
With that, of course, we'll take a look at the 3 keys for FBK as well. Sim, we'll throw it back over to you here in terms of looking at these comparisons. What do you think? What stands out? That last pun already, wow.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, it's the 1-2 punch. That would be Fury and Lehmanens. They are the first and second amongst defensemen in assists. So look to them to be a huge part in driving the offense for FBK. And where does most of that offense come from at times? The counterattack, the rush plays, those slap passes. And that brings us to our next point here. Off to the races. We talk about him every time, but really, how can you not? Such a dynamic player out there. The leading goal scorer in Elite is dangerous no matter where he is on the ice. Goons are really going to have to, make a mental note from start to finish, focusing on him and trying to contain him, or he will just simply get out of hand. And yeah, that third and final point, McHarry comes to save the day. McSavid has historically seemed to always find another level here in the postseason. The Goon squad has surprised many this season. Can they surprise even more and really be able to solve McSavid here? Time will tell.
I know it's playoff time, everybody. The puns get taken to a whole new level, all things considered. So, Sin, again, we are just a few moments away here from puck drop in game 1 of this opening round matchup. Again, a long journey to get here. Both of these teams right where they wanted to be in terms of the playoff mix. But what happens from here is a complete toss-up. We look back to the regular season matchup, FBK winning that first game 3-2 in overtime, but it was the second game that Goons took 3-2 as well. Goons in that game, granted, first, an early regular season matchup, if I'm not mistaken, but regardless of the first time these two teams got to see one another, Goons won 33 out of 45 faceoffs in that series. So we look at Kirketsi and at Mullen here. Mullen actually finished the regular season with the higher with the higher faceoff percentage, A higher save percentage would have been very impressive. So you look to this matchup, and then everything about it just seems to be a complete toss-up, whether it be the ability of the wingers, because again, you talk about Afe, but then you look at Pika Roger, kind of a similar impact in his debut season in terms of the goal-scoring ability. The defense as well. It's a complete X factor with someone like Viva, but we know he has that offensive potential going up against 2 very offensively oriented defensemen for FBK. It's what I love about this series, and again, really no way to predict how this one's going to go, and it fits the theme of our entire season, which was to expect the unexpected. We saw that all throughout the regular season. Looks like the playoffs aren't going to disappoint either.
Yeah, and something to kind of note on Kriketsi, I believe he used to actually play wing. I think it was right wing, and that's when he was really, really like a wrecking ball out there, throwing all the hits. He has less hits actually than Mullen this season. So, but we know he has that physical game. It seems like center is really the spot for him where he's really beginning to sort of thrive and come into a comfort zone that is perhaps especially needed here to be a consistent playoff performer. So, I mean, we always talk about adding elements to your game, et cetera, so forth. He's definitely done that there.
Instead, in the lobby there, we actually get a different look. Interesting to note, we have two playmakers actually up top there for Goons on the left-hand side and at center, where normally we really only see the centers run those playmaking builds.
Yeah, so pretty crazy there. I think oftentimes Eki does run a playmaker as well. I'm not too sure if this season he has transitioned to the puck mover, but yeah, it is pretty much few and far between. You usually see the center is the only playmaker. Everyone else is that puck moving defenseman. Oh my, 4 milliseconds.
4 ping.
I am so jealous. That's not even fair. Wow.
There will be no excuses in this one about server connection on a 4 ping setup there. Sin, we are ready to go. Game 1 of the ECL Elite Division 12 or Season 12 playoffs here. So ready to go for this. The season ending on such an unpredictable high note. Can only imagine, of course, that the playoffs will continue that trend. A quick note here, of course, it is the opposite wingers as well, rocking the golden helmets. Piku Roger for Goons in the white. Afe for Färjestad in the green. That'll be the case here for this opening matchup as they go for that quick out with Afe. The 2 opening games, that'll be the case. Then, of course, they will turn over the golden helmets to the playoff leading scorers as opposed to the regular season leading goal scorers. So what a play there. I was going to say, we'll see if Afe can hold on to that. Nearly picked up an assist there on a great opening look for Lehmanens. The early chance for FBK. We'll see what Goons are able to do here in the attacking zone. That pass off the mark from Piku Roger. Through the first 4 minutes or so, no sustained attacking pressure for Goons. Again, promoted last year from our pro division. They made it all the way to the finals before losing to IQ, who have also found themselves in the postseason. Here is that one. Secondary chance on the wraparound for Antonio. Just doesn't go. Afe driving the net, nearly tripped up there. Incredibly dangerous is Afe at all times, Sid, and he's been off to a very hot start in this game so far.
Yeah, I mean, the stretch pass, he got in there on the forecheck, generated the turnover, and right now, FBK really dictating the pace of play.
Good D-to-D work there as Lehmanen's shot was blocked down by his own man. Afe gets a draw, and a chance for Mullen off the shot is stopped, but it will be an FBK power play.
And Afe even looking to pass a lot more than he normally would right now. That first one to Lehman is that one right there to Mullen, and we talked about it. I mean, you don't want to put Färjestad on the power play. Fortunately, Goons get that initial clear, which is also important, but here come FBK back into that zone.
Antonio struggling to hold it at the blue line. Goons will get a hold of it. Send it all the way down. Again, regular season, as we see a bit of contact there, but regular season, it was Goons. Second worst PK in the league. They also had the second worst power play, so special teams not their specialty. Good look there. Mullen still fighting for it down low. Pinching in as well there was Furion, but Goons have it going down the other way. Chance here for Jurgeli. Can he hold on to it? But he can't. Lehmanens takes it away. Chance for one more rush here for FBK. It will be a successful penalty kill. One wired back to Lehmanens. That pass off the mark. We're back to 5-on-5. Furion throws it on. Big kick stop there by Fincona. He'll cover for the faceoff.
Yeah, Fincona's been sharp so far. His positioning looks on point. He's not really swimming there in the crease, and that's going to be extremely important and good to see with how kind of hectic things were with Färjestad attacking from all sides in the beginning.
Shot scores off the deflection. Mullen in front has the opening goal of this postseason. 1-0 Färjestad.
Just a great play off of the draw from Färjestad, just taking that shot from the point, people crashing the net, and Mullen getting his stick on it from the deflection near the hash marks there right there. Not a whole lot that Fincona can do on that with the change of direction. We'll get another look right there. I couldn't quite see if it hit his knee or something like that. I didn't actually see his stick moving the way it looked like a deflection. Regardless, he gets credited with the goal. 1-0 here for Färjestad.
Tremendous opening goal there for FBK. Not able to capitalize on the power play, but they do get the opening goal here in this one. Mullen, again, that deflection. Zafe nearly walked through, like Sid mentioned too, for Mullen. Not quite sure how he got a piece of that one. The end result is all the same and exactly what they were looking for. Chance there and a big stop by McSaven. Pika Roger, team's leading goal scorer, again 6th in the league in goals was he in his rookie campaign. Definitely someone to keep an eye out in the future. Love the battle of the left wings in this one. Afe and Pika Roger. We have 6.5 minutes to play here in the opening frame of this game. Big bank off the boards there. Mullen drops back to Laminance. Circling around. Able to find Furion. He's able to weave his way through traffic. Down low, and the pass from Antonio Mann broken up by VP. Hands here now for Pika Roger again. Throws it on. Big stop by McSaven. Puck still loose. That was Viba in front as well. The defender pinching in. Got a piece of that one. McSaven said no. There's the stretch pass. Here's Afe. Drops back. Laymanens tried to go across for Antonio. And no space there. Look for Laymanens. He's still pinching in. Antonio's there as well. 2 former teammates in Vesa Pampa. Former defensive pair partners as well. So constantly looking to switch the experience they have in playing together in the elite division. Immeasurable in a playoff scenario, but here's a chance down the other way. Yergely couldn't hold on to it. A backhand. Didn't find its way through, and here comes Färjestad down the other way. Afe the self-sauce. Has to slow up to catch up to it, or wait for it to catch up to him. He's still fighting for it, though. Mullen back to Afe, and again down low to Mullen. The goal scorer looks for the wrap. Loose puck, and Afe just couldn't find the space. Close calls here. Final 10 seconds. One more rush for Goons. Looking here. Kirketzi can't hold on. Loose puck. Who's going to come up with that scramble in front? McSave, it's down, and he covers as time expires. Sin close call at the end, but FBK take the 1-0 lead into the second period.
Yeah, a bit of a scary moment there for Färjestad, but for the most part, what a period they had. Not only getting the goal, they had a power play to work with. Maybe not their best effort, but credit to Goons for getting the early clears and even trying to kill some time back in Färjestad's own zone. But I mean, Färjestad, they were gaining the line, they were working their stretch passes, they got a slap pass off, they were got their cycle game going. Right now, it just seems like Färjestad came out of the gate strong. They're pretty much everything that they want to do, they found a way to make work. And I mean, that first period, definitely pace of game-wise in favor of them. And wow, reflected in the numbers as well. 3:45 time on attack to, I believe that was just 35 seconds for Goons. I mean, a bit of that due to the power play. But, I mean, Färjestad just, again, looked really, really good there in that period, as we're going to get another look at that. Okay, so yeah, he did kind of move his stick and get that on it right there, and it goes just under the 5-hole of Finn Cohn. I mean, great opening goal, but you got to think, I mean, with the chances that they were getting, they could have maybe even had another, maybe two, if some of those chances got on, or Finn Cohn, didn't make the save that he did. So Goon's going to have to find some kind of response to slow down the Färjestad attack, because right now they're really seeming to snowball.
Here we go. Second period underway in this one. Early possession for Goons. That backhand blocked down by Antonio Mann. Still fighting for it, though. Pika Roger in front. Another big stop by McSavid off the chance from Yergely. Good pressure here from Goons in the early stages of the second, and a crucial interception by Viba. Remember that one. Afe nearly finding his way behind the defense. Of course, a key strategy for FBK is to free him up and get him going back down the other way. So there's Laymanens carrying it in. Very accomplished 1v1 player as well. Mullen, the toe drag pass to Antonio, who draws another trip. FBK, delayed penalty here in their favor. Still fighting for it is Furion. Mullen, extra attackers out. Mullen in front, just intercepted. Puts in another power play for Färjestad.
Yeah, and this puck movement coming out from them, especially on that delayed call, was a thing of beauty here, and another chance for them on the power play. We talked about it. Goons right now playing with fire.
0 for 1 without a single registered shot. They're looking to change that as Mullen, too. Laymanens gets caught. Good defense by Pika Roger. Laymanens still looking. Down to Mullen. Antonio. Gets it back from Furion, and again back to the point. Shot on, and a stop by Finn Kona. Great rebound control there by the netminder.
Yeah, good attempt. There were two green jerseys hovering around there, one on either side. So if that puck popped out, they would have, had a whack at it or a chance to bury it. But you said a good rebound control gets the smother.
Here we go now off the draw. Mullen, the backhand stifled. Still fighting for it. Afe is able to recover it. One-timer by Furion and another big stop by Finn Kona. Beaten by a deflection. Aside from that, he's looked solid. We're down to 30 seconds to go on the second power play opportunity for FBK. Much more fruitful, but not able to find the back of the net. Here's Lehmanens. Mullen. Afe has it knocked loose, but he recovers along the half wall, and again they work it down low. Antonio looking. Pass. Furion stopped by Finn Kona, and here come Goons down the other way. We're back to 5-on-5. Kirketsi. Chance there for Pika Roger. Again, was going to look for the snipe. Broken up off that back check. Big sauce pass. And dropped back down to Furion. The spin finds Afe. Great move there. And again, back to the point. Tremendous puck movement from FBK. Mullen's pass, though, not able to get through the traffic. See what Goons can do on this rush. Not able to get a ton of offensive zone time. Looking for the quick hits. That one banked off the side of the goal. An offside call here with 10:40 to play in the second period.
Yeah, and the snowball seems to be continuing for Färjestad, but the good news for Goons is they're still only down by one, despite the chances, despite the zone time. They're winning the majority of the faceoff, so it's even more impressive what Färjestad's been able to do, shutting down their attack quickly, establishing their own in response, and really seeming to chew up large portions of the clock in that Goon zone, and you see them constantly, even kind of faking the slap shot, I think, because there's not really anyone streaking, but they're just trying to put the fear of it into Goons, and it kind of seems to be working. They're almost kind of, turtling up at times.
Kirketsi down low. Quick passes. Pika Roger just wide on the far side with the wrist shot. Here's Viba. Circling around. Finds Kirketsi. Pika Roger. What a pass and another shot just wide. That glove hand side. Yergely not able to tuck that one inside the post. Good sauce pass to Antonio. A bit too much traffic. Yergely again not able to hold on to it. It's FBK back in control here for the moment. Mullen over the blue line looking for his options. Finds Furion looking. Slap shot. Tried to pick the corner. Finn Kona will shut that down with the blocker. Antonio Mannon has it now. Finds its way to Furion. Mullen has it. Shot deflection. Bit another stop by Finn Kona. He's been tested early and often, but he's coming up with the saves.
Yeah, he really has, but he's keeping his team in it right now. The pressure from Färjestad just continuing to mount here late in this second period, and again, another aggressive face-off.
Another face-off win for Kirketsi. We said it in that regular season matchup. He had Mullen's number, despite Mullen having the better regular season numbers. As a big stop from McSavid on the other side. Yergely not able to find the back of the net.
That was a great pass from Pika Roger. I didn't think he would get it in. He was trying to rush the net, was getting bumped and pushed off that puck, but great pass right there to set up Yergely, but even better save.
Loose puck off the draw, recovered by FBK here. See what they're able to do on this breakout. 3 minutes to go here in the second period. Struggle through the neutral zone. There's the dump and chase. Perfectly timed. Afe has it. Lehmanens still fighting for it after losing it for the moment. Physical play here. Mullen has it. In the high slot, looking at his options. Tried to go back down low. It'll find its way to Afe all the way on the other side. Antonio Mannon. Mullen on the weird angle shot. Secondary opportunities taken away by VP. Chance now for Goons going down the other way. Pika Roger loses it. Viba able to recover. VP over to Yergely. Back over to Kirketsi. Just missed on the glove side. Another great chance for Goons. But the accuracy on these shots just haven't been there. It'll stay a 1-0 lead for FBK at the end of 2.
I like the attempt there from Goons. It was the counterattack where they sent 3 out the second they thought they may have had an opportunity. So trying to sort of, use Färjestad's forechecking aggression to their advantage. They got an odd man situation. It was an initial great poke by Lehman to sort of disrupt that, allow some of the Färjestad skaters back into the zone. But a nice passing play as well from Goons. They got the opportunity. I believe that was Kirketsi, I think, taking the shot from sort of that slot area. and I think it just sailed wide right there. But I mean, the response from Goons at times is looking good. They're still down in this one, but it could be much worse. Credit to Finn Kona especially, making some really key saves, as Färjestad at times just seemingly having free reign in that Goon zone to kind of do what they want. They're forcing turnovers. They're getting to loose pucks. Their cycle game is on point. Great puck movement, great body movement. But again, they're only up by 1 goal. They're in still a very tenuous position. As good as they've looked, they've only capitalized once. So, again, credit Finn Kona, credit for some of the shot blocking coming out from Goons. But if Färjestad, they want to put this game away, they're going to have to get one at least, or two, maybe 2 more goals here, because all it takes right now is 1 bounce and Goons has a tie game.
Here we go now. 3rd period underway. Again, game 1 of this opening round series. Oh, then at the line here. Bieber the shot on. McSavid, loose puck, having to go all out. Keep that one from going in. There's that quick out. Sin, though, mistimed, and it'll be an icing call. Puck down the other way.
Yeah, well played by VP right there, sort of predicting where he was going to go with that, or maybe just, kind of shifting over to off-face side of the ice, just out of habit right there to really protect against that. But you get the icing and a great face-off win.
That one deflects just wide off the 1T. Chance there again. Looked like it was blocked down. Pika Rogers had a couple of good looks. Still can't find that opening goal. Furion leads it down the other way. Afe still competing for it. Taken away by Kirketsi. Again, Pika Roger just with nowhere to go. Excellent defense from Laminance. Unstifled there before the blue line. Goons back in possession. Regular season, they scored the 5th most goals for per game. Stifled in this one so far. A couple of good chances, though. Good interception there by Jurgeli, trying to go back down the other way. Viba joining the rush. Great chance there, knocked off by Antonio Mannin at the last moment. Goons getting a little bit more of the possession, though, here, Sid.
Yeah, definitely in this 3rd period, they're seeming to be able to hold on to that puck a bit more, a bit more hungry on those loose pucks with Färjestad, but they keep making those plays at the blue line. The trouble now is Goons doing a much better job guarding against the counterattack.
Back in possession here. Viba again joining the rush. Kirketsi's shot deflects wide. Looking for the anything you can do, I can do better with the deflection bid. And FBK stifled a little bit more in the neutral zone in this one. At least in this 3rd period here. Not too many chances. Antonio, good pass back. Afe space, elects the pass, and Finn Kona reads it well. Another chance intercepted. Great read by Jurgeli. Here come Goons down the other way. Kirketsi has it. Can't hold on to it. Antonio making plays both sides of the ice. Kirketsi again knocks one loose, but that pass off the mark. Sin all the way down. 9 minutes to go.
Yeah, I mean, that was a nice attempted counterattack right there. But once again, the defensive skill sticks coming out from Färjestad just really on point.
Over the blue line here now. Let's see what they can do. Again, nowhere to go. 3 players in front of the puck there. Good interception. FBK in control. Furion looking. That pass off the mark, but still maintained by FBK. The puck dumped all the way around. Viba able to recover. Goons running out of time to try and find the back of the net in this one. Loose puck recovered by Kirketsi. Looking one-timer. Piku Roger denied. Biggest stop of the game for McSavid there. Afe able to settle that one down. Finds Antonio Mannin. Mullen. Great movement from FBK. Shot on. A good deflection bid. We have 4 minutes to go. Goons down the other way. Piku Rogers pass intercepted. It was a good look. Kirketsi's able to recover the puck here. Again, just can't get that pass off due to the contact. Mullen recovers along the half wall. Nowhere to go as he was triple teamed. 2.5 minutes to play here. Puck in front, loose still. And McSavid got a piece of that. Looked like it was Jurgeli in front on a good opportunity once more. 1.5 to play here in game number 1. Opening round, best of 7. We have the first 2 games for you here in this broadcast. Held down low, Antonio to Mullen to Lehman. It's broken up. 50 seconds and another rush chance here for Goons. Again, immediately shut down just over the blue line. See what they can do. Sense of urgency now. Looks like they're going to go for the empty net. Puck in, shot again, just wide on the glove side. Kriketsi, one-timer, they score!
Fincona!
The goalie goal to tie it at 1 in the final minute of the third period.
At least I initially thought it was. I guess we may have we have a different name than we have in the game right there. But yeah, the icon doesn't lie right there. Fincona on the doorstep, getting the goaltender goal right there. I mean, unbelievable job from Goons. The call out to get the empty net, still with plenty of time left. All it took was a quick counterattack from Färjestad. They would have had the goal on the empty net, but nonetheless, I mean, huge job from Goons.
See what FBK can do. One-timer and a stop by Fincona down the other way. Cindy can do it all.
And that rebound there, I mean, he came out to challenge it. He had Afe there. Antonio got a whack on it on the doorstep, but kept the puck out. Still plenty of time, though, and FBK, you know they're hungry.
Face-off win. Let's see what they can do. Loose puck off the side of the goal. Held in by Lehmanens for the moment. Furion can't get anything there. 4 seconds. Furion, nowhere to go. Sin, we're going to overtime in game number 1.
Wow, I mean, FBK, they got to feel like they let this one get away from them. They really dominated the pace of play in the first 2 periods, and pretty kind of, leading up to that last goal, it was a much more even third period. But if you're FBK, the fact that you only capitalized 1 time, you had good looks, you had great passing, you looked great, you were good in good chances, you had 2 power play opportunities. It's just, you couldn't beat Fincona. Other times, you couldn't capitalize, you couldn't get there for the rebounds. You were so close yet so far, and all it takes, we talked about it, 1 opportunity, 1 shot was all it took for Goons to get back in it. They force the overtime, but here in the playoffs, all that matters is the W. So Goons are going to need to find 1 more goal. Färjestad going to need to find some of that first and second period success that they were finding and figure out a way to solve Fincona. They were looking good, maybe overpassing slightly. It's hard to say that, though, because they were getting opportunities. They were getting chances. It was looking good. The space was there. You're actually seeing just trickling under the shin right there of the Färjestad defender, perhaps thinking he should have got a bigger piece of that pass. Nonetheless, tie game here, overtime, about to get underway.
Then it was mentioned in chat, Monday is known as Marathon Mondays around these parts. This certainly not disappointing here. Next goal will win this one in Sim for the 3rd time this game. FBK go to the power play.
Again, Goons playing with fire. That one is, definitely not as good of a penalty to take as the last one was right in front of the net, but nonetheless, Färjestad, they have to capitalize here. They got to make Goons pay.
Great keep in there by Furion. Mullen has it knocked loose. Race for the puck. They can't clear it all the way out. Furion has it again. Shot, scores! City went to the short side the first time, goes far side this time. Furion wins it for FBK as they finally convert on the power play.
What a shot. Post and around, rimmed around the inside of the net right there. I mean, we talked about it. You can't keep giving that power play the chances. What an excellent job by them, overloading the side of the ice the puck was on to prevent those clears. I mean, that keep-in by Lehmanens on the last one was absolutely huge. The quick pass to Furion, who kind of circled around, got in towards that high slot, and took an absolute blast of a shot right there. That keep-in, the quick pass as well, as Pico Raja was bearing down on him. What a play by Lehmanens. That looks, I mean, that'll something that can kind of, just looks like a normal assist, but that was absolutely huge to not only hold the line, but to make that pass to Furion, who turns around, avoiding the stick and any sort of incidental contact from Pico Raja. That leads to the game winner, and that's why you cannot keep putting a team like Färjestad on the power play. Eventually, they will capitalize, and that right there was tenacious forechecking from Färjestad. Hungry to keep that puck in, they do, and Furion 2.9, a goal and an assist, credited with that game winner. Färjestad take game 1.
It's in great chances on both sides of the ice. But Goons playing with fire with the penalties taken, and ultimately comes back to haunt them. As we'll get a look here one more time at the game-winning goal. A very narrow keep in there for Laminens. And it leads to the goal. I mean, Finn Kona was in pretty good position as well. That's just a picture-perfect shot.
Yeah, that puck had eyes, essentially. I mean, just great job. Almost getting that glove on it, too. But even again, about the keep-ins of this team. Even before that, on the first initial clear, I think it was off the near the face-off play, Furion actually kept it in by putting his body against the board. So, I mean, that's kind of what Färjestad did all game. They were able to get sustained offensive pressure because they did what it took to keep the puck in. They were very aggressive in that regard and kind of knew where to position themselves, or kind of the highest percentage to position themselves to get to those loose pucks, to get those blocks, to get those pass intercepts. And that's something that comes with a lot of playoff experience, something that Färjestad has here in the elite division. And they were kind of looking to capitalize on that and really sort of use their counterattack in all three zones. We talk about playing defense in all three zones. Färjestad was counterattacking in all three zones. Yes, you can counterattack in the offensive zone. It's called stopping those breakout passes. And Färjestad really did a great job of that throughout the course of this game, especially in that first and second period, and especially on that last final power play of their game that led to the game winner.
Game 1 goes to FBK. Game 2 coming up in just a few moments. We'll get you a quick word from our sponsors, maybe even a brief little break there as well. But we'll be back in just a few moments.
Wilhelm vie nakkikioskille kotikatsomossa.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
All right, so we are back, and as you can see, just about ready to go. We thank everybody for sticking with us. Of course, game 2 of this opening round matchup, Färjestad and Goons. It was FBK holding that lead sim for the majority of the game. Goons with a final minute tying goal from Finn Kona, of all people, on the empty net bid. But it's FBK winning it on a power play opportunity early in the overtime. What adjustments do you see, if any, being made on both sides?
For Goons, I mean, they're going to have to put a little less reliance on Finn Kona. Now we could say that as well for their offense, as he is the lone goal scorer, but he was making some key saves, really keeping Goons in it throughout that first and second period, especially when Färjestad was just seemingly having their way with Goons in their defensive zone. It's, you know, they're going to have to give him some relief back there. You can't be doubled or tripled in time on attack more often than not and come away with a victory, or, you know, even force overtime. You could consider them maybe a bit fortunate in that regard. So they're going to have to find a way to create some offense of their own here and not allow Färjestad to really kind of control the pace of the game as much as they did in that first.
Here we go, game 2 underway. Let's see what Goons can do to try and work their way back into this one. Again, just one goal for them in that opener, despite being top 5 in goals per game average in the regular season. But as we all know, playoffs are a different animal. And Goons did such a good job, for the most part, of staying out of the box. They were the least penalized team. There is a 5-minute major that has been called. The least penalized team in the regular season, in loads of penalty trouble here.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge one to take right here, and they're going to have to be, it's a 5-minute. I mean, if Färjestad score, they get to keep going. We'll see how good their power play is right now.
1 for 3 in the opening game of this best of 7. They had the league's top power play in the regular season. Not a team that you want to mess with. Chance there, puck recovered by Viba. He'll send it all the way down. Pika Roger maybe trying to sneak an offensive chance. Let's see what FBK can do. I mean, at least one here has to be the bare minimum with VP in the box. The right defender for Goons. Pass in front. Second chance. Swatted on. Still loose. Recovered by Furion. He throws one on. Rebound. Scores! Afe in front. Finds it. The team's leading scorer in the regular season starts his playoff campaign off right, his first after a 45-goal regular season. And Sin, this was the worst case scenario for Goons.
Yeah, we just talked about how they need to get off to a better start, not allow Färjestad to sort of dictate the pace of play, and that's not the way to go about it, is taking a sort of major penalty like that early on. And Afe, as you mentioned, has opened that goal-scoring account, and when he seems to do that, it just seems to snowball. He really seems to take off there. They still have over 3 minutes of power play time as well. This is really horrible for Goons, and yeah, Lehmanen's way back there expecting the puck. They're going to try to counterattack with haste.
3 minutes to go on that continuous power play. Of course, the 5-minute major. Not sure if it was boarding or checking from behind, but regardless, the damage done. And indeed, FBK, a repeat performance of that first game with an early goal to kick off the scoring. Great job by Antonio to get in front of that one. Afe will recover. Lehmanen sends it down low. Chance, one-timer deflected just wide off the leg of a defender. The FBK, you see in the movement, they have only gotten better as the seasons have gone on. The addition of Lehmanen's and what it's meant to the lineup. You see the movement again here. Malin back to the point. Lehmanen's to Antonio, tried to throw it on. A loose puck. Afe fighting for this one. Able to find Antonio one more time. Malin loses it though, and Piku Roger will clear with 1:20 to go. Back down the other way here, though. Here's Malin, has a step. Antonio Manin circles around, knocked loose, and again cleared out. Much better from Goons, trying to limit the damage to just 1 goal against. We have 30 seconds to go on this power play. Afe has it knocked loose as he charged the net. Malin looking. Lehmanens can't get that shot off. Piku Roger able to clear and send. That'll do it. So, unfortunate, they do allow that opening goal, but only one goal against there on that shorthanded situation, and that one goes all the way down as well.
Yeah, that was actually an excellent play. The dump near perfectly timed. I think Afe maybe it may have had to slow down a step or two, but yeah, it was the pass back with the slap pass.
There's Afe, tried to go backhand and ran out of space. Sin, you said they were threatening it earlier, but didn't really see them go for it too often. It worked out. So this one's going to go all the way back down the ice again. Incredibly how quick those chances for Afe can develop. We are halfway through this first period now. Again, FBK, the lone goal on a power play opportunity. 2 out of their 3 goals so far have been on the power play in this series. Here's Piku Roger, slap shot on, forcing a glove save from McSave. It as it deflects up and out of play.
Yeah, so again, Goons find themselves on the back foot, which, as we talked about so often, FBK really seems to feed off of that. The second you have to get more aggressive, they can get more aggressive and force more turnovers, get their own counterattack going, as you have to commit an additional guy on the rush, whether it be that additional forward or defenseman. What a stretch pass right there to Afe as well to gain the zone.
Still fighting to hold on to it here. Physical player despite the smaller stature. If Furion really nowhere to go, brings it back to the neutral zone and not able to hold on to it. He does intercept it right back. Here's Afe trying to find a little bit of space. Back to Furion, who can't hold on to it. Afe recovers it. Lehmanen's the one-timer. Don't know if that found its way to the goal. Antonio Manin knocking this one loose. Malin the chance. Tried to wheel that one back across the slot. Here's Piku Roger now for Goons. Puck down low here. Viva's shot doesn't find a way through. It's Antonio Manin here under 4 minutes to play. Shot on, loose puck for the moment, and there's going to be another FBK power play, Sin. It's an interference call. It's Viva taking a seat.
Yeah, this is just kind of getting out of hand here for that. He's trying to maybe bump the man in front of the net. The problem is, I believe that was Afe, a smaller build right there. And if you get a little bit too much of the player, that can result. And yeah, this is sort of getting out of hands when it comes to Goons. They cannot keep putting this team on the power play.
Again, the least penalized team, they score! What a feed from Malin to Antonio Manin. And FBK double it up. Send their second power play goal of the game. 3 out of the 4 goals they've scored now have been on the power play. Self-inflicted wounds from the inexperienced Goons team here in the Elite Playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, talk about a crazy pace. That's an insane pace. I thought 12 for 33 on the power play in the regular season was insane. How about, I mean, was it now 3 for 4 or 3 for 5 that they are?
5, technically.
Yeah, that's, oh my goodness. I mean, 60% efficiency is absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, you said it, self-inflicted wounds. Goons have to kind of find a way to get an advantage. And if you keep putting yourself short-handed against the best team on the power play, doesn't matter how good you are at staying out of the box in the regular season, you're struggling at it. Oh no.
Oh no, it's right.
Nerves. What did we mention?
Oh man.
Maybe a bit of nerves going to be a factor. It seems to be the case right now with Goons. I mean, this is, yeah, right there. You can't, the first initial poke is fine, but he seemed to kind of, hold it there in the defensive skill stick. That seems like frustration. That seems like a bit of tilt, and that could really lead to them going down in this series 2-0 if they don't get a handle on it, find a way to get some goals.
It's Jurgeli taking a seat off the chance in front. Intercepted and cleared out. And Sim, when we say expect the unexpected, I don't think we would have thought the least penalized team in the regular season would turn into a team completely devoid of any discipline.
Yeah, and they're really kind of starting to snowball. It reminds me back to that first initial broadcast we did of H-Reds where they took that one penalty and it sort of opened the floodgates. It feels like that's what happened here with Goons. As nice attempt on the face-off play, but another huge keep, that time Mullen.
Antonio shot on, rebound, covered by Fincona. 53 seconds to go on the man advantage, and what's felt like an eternity's worth of a first period here because of all the power play time. See what happens here on this draw, and again, Kirketsi gets the better of Mullen. Can't clear it all the way down, though. Loose puck. Piku Roger does get it all the way down on the second attempt. We have 30 seconds to go on the man advantage. Worst case scenario here, FBK fall to 3 out of 6 to start this series as Mullen draws another penalty sin with, I believe, 7 seconds to go on that initial man advantage. 5-on-3 here on this face-off. Mullen wins it, set play off, denied on the chance, and Piku Roger will hit Jurgeli out of the box. The good thing for Goons here, the clock still goes fast in this final minute, so it's going to kill off a lot of this power play. Antonio tried to go across, knocked loose, kept in by Furion. 6 seconds here. Mullen looking, couldn't snipe it. Loose puck is covered. At least recovered, I should say. And Sin, they survive.
Yeah.
Incredible that it's only a 2-0 lead right now.
Survive is the exact word right there. We saw it coming out again from Färjestad. Just the a crazy ability of them to keep the puck in, the aggression coming out, the defenseman pinching in, getting that collapse going like a pack of hungry wolves. Something they've done all season. I got to say, I've used that reference so many times, and it'll never get tired because that's really what it looks like. I mean, just these hungry wolves closing in around you as you try to box up and keep that net safe. It's just Färjestad, especially one of those teams that does it so well, especially on the power play. And again, absolutely dominating the time on attack, the shots, the scoring chances, and this time a bit more so the scoreboard after the first period. And Goons just really in survival mode, it seems right now, still have to kill off the rest of this penalty.
Again, these two teams split the regular season matchup. FBK, as you see on your screen there, just one more regular season win as Antonio Mannin has his second power play goal of the game. And a pause from Goons here, since it is 3-0 now in favor of FBK. And they're just running away with this one.
Yeah. How about this? The Leeds leading goal scorer with a picture-perfect spin pass right there. Again, it looks pretty, but it does serve a purpose. We're only going to get one look at it, but the reason that play works, we'll get in one more here, it's the angle of the pass, the trajectory. He gets on the forehand with the pass, which will make it more accurate. He gets the angle to thread it between two defenders right to his forward partner, and Antonio, and my word, just great execution right there, and I believe that was within the time, so yet another power play goal for Färjestad.
Let's see how Goons respond here. Self-inflicted wounds. It's gotten to the point where I've lost track of how many power play opportunities FBK have had already. Goons taking Just 43 penalty minutes worth of time there in a 30-game regular season. There's already a good percentage of that amount of time taken here in the less than the first game and a half. Here are Goons. That 1T doesn't go. Afe going to chase this one down. As Antonio with them. Afe looking, scores on the backhand. 4-0 FBK. Sin, they are running away with this one.
Yep, and again, we said it, once those floodgates open, Färjestad is one of those teams that snowballs, especially a guy like Afe right there. You even see the desperation dive coming out from VP. I think that was him. Maybe it was Kriketsi. Hard to see with the icons, but what else can you say? But when not even dives are working, you can't even get the trip or anything. They almost get another chance feeding it in front to Afe. It's just, what can you do if you're Goons? I mean, it just goes from bad to worse.
They're in the attacking zone here. Puck intercepted in front. Let's see what Goons can do. Can they work their way back in? Loose puck. McSavid's able to find it and cover. So, Sin, I believe Goons had just one registered shot in that first period there. And we'll see what they're able to do here. Back in the attacking zone, and there you go. There's one. The goal for Jurgeli. As Goons are on the board, the score now 4-1.
And that's a step in the road to recovery, and it's far from over, but it's good. You kind of hold your head a little higher after a goal like that. You stopped the bleeding. Now it's about stopping the power play, or stopping the taking penalties, trying to keep Färjestad out of your zone as best you can. You're not going to do it all the time, but again, now it's your turn to kind of snowball. Can you build off this? Can you get another quick chance right there? Jurgeli on the doorstep. Great save by McSavid, though.
A very close chance indeed. Goons, a little bit of momentum here now, really for the first time. And trailed for the majority of the first game as well. It was a final minute tying goal. Afe gonna fight for this one. And the double team pressure, able to take that one away. 4-1 here, 11 minutes to go now in the second period. Here's Afe, and it's covered by Fincona. Sin, that one looked like it was gonna trickle just inside the post on the far side.
It did, and huge credit right there. Not only Afe splitting the defense, but the defense there in response, getting the bump right there to sort of disrupt the play. Yes, it was still dangerous, but that's what you have to do. Just try to disrupt Afe as much as possible. Kind of a dangerous pass from Antonio, but well played by Furion, and a great dump.
Sin, you talk about the playoffs not exactly going as expected here in this one in terms of the penalties. We have the result of game one. You've probably seen it listed in chat. I don't know what it is, Sin, about Philadelphia against the 8 seeds, but IQ have taken game one against the defending champions, last year's pro champions, have a 1-0 series lead on the elite defending champions. Sin, we saw that last year, though. You had a key point about last year's 8 seed, Northern Ascendancy. They were the only team to take a game off of Philadelphia en route to Phila's title win. We'll try to keep an update on that series as it progresses as well. But for now here, we focus on this one. 4 unanswered goals for FBK. Goons getting the most recent one and trying to work their way back into this one here. I mean, Sin, I'd say crucially enough, a second goal before the end of the period would do them wonders.
Absolutely. I mean, just, cut that lead in half, so to speak, getting that 4-2. There's some good chances right here. Goons looking pretty dangerous around the net. Well played by Lehmanens, but the forecheck coming out. He's going to have to be careful with that puck.
I mean, if you're going to take penalties, you might as well do it while being aggressive in the attacking zone. Am I right?
Yeah, at this point, why not? I mean, you're down by so much. Defensive zone penalties, they would only serve to kind of, stop the bleeding and stop some of those chances.
Ooh, shot on. Paddled away by McSavid. Just a change up of a shot there. Is this one turned over? Jurgeli fighting for it. As the goal in this one for Goons. 2.5 minutes to play now here in the second period. Färjestad leads this one in. Mullen able to recover. Looking at his options. Lehman in great movement. Antonio rushing the nets. And Fincona is able to cover.
Yeah, it looked like Antonio maybe wanted to get that cross-crease pass from Afe, who was still sort of moving to that back door. Couldn't quite get it off in time, but, you know, that, again, that's what Färjestad does so well. Speaking of what doing so well, I mean, Kriketski, again, sort of dominating this face-off battle. That'll be 13-6 right now. That was kind of the story in the regular season matchup as well, so at least that's going well, but now they need to, you know, kind of translate that into more offense.
Great movement there, ultimately stifled by the physical presence. Mullen not able to hold that one on side. And plenty of time here still in this one. Try and get what could be a difference-making goal. Here's Antonio off the drop shot, scores! A heartbreaker for Goons as Antonio Mannon has a hat trick here in game number 2. 14 seconds to go. The score now 5-1.
I'm kind of curious as to kind of what happened right there with the defensive Goons. They were maybe expecting something else to sort of occur off that drop, but they're both caught flat-footed a bit too wide. They couldn't close off Antonio. He just kind of shot the gap up the middle. He did the stick move as soon as he entered the zone, but probably didn't realize he didn't actually have to. The two defenders were so wide. I don't think they could have, you know, made their sticks get, you know, a factor into that play. Nonetheless, I mean, he gets the goal anyway as Fincona gets caught moving right there. And a late second period goal to regain that 4-goal lead here, heading in to the third. I'm sorry, I don't see a way the Goons get back in this. They haven't shown me enough offense. They've shown flashes at times where they play aggressive and they kind of give FBK fits in their own end. But honestly, this is a bit of a reality check for this Goons squad. They did so well throughout the course of the regular season. They did so well working their way into elite in the first place, but again, we said, here's your first true test against an established team in Färjestad, and they are really, really getting a workout, to say the least. They're kind of getting worked over here by this team.
Third period now. Again, just the first 2 games of this series being played here on this broadcast. Afe can't get a hold of that one, so for Goons right now, staring down the barrel of a 2-0 deficit. It's about building momentum for the rest of this series. And if you can get the comeback, good things can happen. Viba finds the back of the net. His first career Elite Division playoff goal. And Goons back within striking distance perhaps, and it's the goal they needed before that hat-trick goal for Antonio. It's now 5-2.
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely huge. I mean, again, it's not only do they get back, I like to see the aggression still coming out to defense. Maybe a bit of desperation right now is we'll see how well they're able to kind of still play defensively with the aggression that's going to come out. But 3 goals in 1 period, it's not unheard of. I mean, Färjestad, I think did they get 3 in that first? I can't actually remember. There's been so many goals scored, but yeah, they got, again, it can happen. Yes, they had power play help, but Goons are starting to kind of starting to play with a bit more fire here as they're getting pretty aggressive now, getting some more iced zone time.
So Afe just not able to hold on to that one as it was shot with quite a bit of power straight into the back of his own legs. So we'll see what happens here. FBK in on the attack. Furion again at the point, pinching in. Gets it back from Mullen. Good movement there. Not afraid to work it at the blue line as Mullen nearly found the open space in the slot. Last second knock loose there to take it away. Pico Roger in front. And again, it's Viba pinching in. Chance there again, trying to find the young defender. Afe can't get a hold of that one. It'll go down for icing as VP wins the foot race.
Yeah, it was just unfortunate as the sauce was a bit too hard for him to grab with that handedness that he had. Nonetheless, it was still a good play, but every counterattack, every second that Goons doesn't have the puck, it's just time is ticking away in favor of Färjestad. But good job from Goons to get that back in.
Still loose in front and a big swipe at it by Kriketski. Couple of great chances there for Goons. We have just over 11.5 minutes to play. A 3-goal deficit here. 1 more goal for FBK. Certainly going to end it if it isn't over already. See if the commentator's curse continues off of a line like that. In the first 2 games of this series to kick off the postseason. Chance for Antonio. That one was blocked down. Little icon there for FBK. Antonio Mannon again with a hat trick in this game already. That after a 54-point regular season. He was top 5 in assists, but showing as well. Can find the back of the net when called upon. Has the puck now. Good movement to get it over to his captain. Here's Mullen. Cutting back along the half wall here. Looking at his options. Great pressure there from the Goons defense. FBK, a perennial playoff team in the Elite Division, going up against Goons, who take another penalty here. And Sim, we talked about it for Goons. Promoted from our Pro Division last year. They make the playoffs for the first time here. First time of asking, but the lack of discipline is still shocking, given that, again, they were the least penalized team in the regular season.
Yeah, and I think it just goes to show you they really kind of haven't found themselves in a higher pressure situation, and having to face a team like this throughout the course of a full 7-game series is no easy task. And Färjestad has clearly done their homework, figured out a strategy to sort of beat these guys. I mean, we know the slap passes come out with them. We know the stretch passes, but I don't recall Färjestad being a huge dump and chase team, but they've whipped that out quite a few times to great effect here in this matchup. And, it's, going back to that thing, Goons, they're going to learn. And they're going to learn today about what it takes to win in the playoffs in the Elite Division. And Färjestad is giving them a free lesson.
Not mistaken, Sin. This is FBK's 9th power play opportunity of the series so far, as that one doesn't go. And they are now down to 4 out of 9. Of course, just under 50%. An incredible conversion rate again for the regular season's top power play. Slap shot there, denied. And Goons with an empty net very early on. And that shot wide from Afe. Thought there was a delayed call, but no, they're going to go super aggressive with this and have an incredibly early empty net with 3 minutes to go. Hey, why not? You got nothing to lose. Chance there, and they score! 2.5 minutes to go. It's a 2-goal game. Goons with the extra attacker route get the goal they needed. It's the captain Kriketsi finding the back of the net.
What a play right there. That was just excellent puck movement from Goons. I like the decision-making. Patrick Waugh behind the bench, pulling that goaltender exceedingly early, especially early when it comes to sixes. Oftentimes, you won't even see the goaltender pulled, but I like the mentality coming out from Goons. They're saying, you know what, we're not out of this yet. And yeah, you got to kind of feel for Afe right there. The sniper build missing the net. Part of the reason I don't use it anymore. Sometimes it seems like that sniper build just can miss the net at inopportune times. Nonetheless, that leads to the kind of counterattack there of Goons, and they're able to get that goal only down by 2. The goaltender back in the net. We'll see if they want to pull him again. That did work to great effect. They're probably going to want to wait till they get possession, and they got to be careful again of that counterattack. Afe probably won't miss the net again from that location.
As mentioned in chat there as well, it's the second time in this series Goons have scored with the extra attacker out. Of course, the first time it was the goalie himself. Here we go. Viba the drop pass. Recovered there by VP. Again, extra attacker out here. Can FBK ice this one? 50 seconds to go. Here's Afe for Antonio. Tried to go back to Afe. He recovers, looking. Antonio can't get the shot through. Pika Roger not able to weave his way through as well. Now it's Viba over the line. Pass off the mark. That's a crucial mistake. Jurgely's pass off the mark as well here. 25 seconds to go and a penalty called against Goons. With 25 seconds to go, and Sin, that should do it.
Yeah, the dream is over, but you know what? Goons, despite losing these 2 games, and this one in more convincing fashion, they're really showing that they're not going to give up. They're not a team to kind of roll over and die here. They're going to even look to counterattack here on the PK. Great shot from Viba up the ice. And they're pulling the goalie.
Why not? Why not? I appreciate the intensity there. Another penalty taken, though, with 8 seconds to go. And Sin, I do love the nerve of them to just say, hey, why not? Yeah. We're already down by 2. We need the goal. I'd like to see that from more teams, to be honest, but obviously teams would like to not be in that scenario. One more rush here for Viba, poked away. And with that, FBK take a 2-0 series lead here. A close game 1, a 2-1 final in overtime. And they walk away with a Game 2 victory. Ended up being closer than it was at certain points. A 5-3 final when FBK had a 4-0 lead once upon a time. Sin, expect the unexpected, and indeed, I don't know if anybody expected this series to start off this way. A 2-0 series lead for the favorites in FBK, maybe, but not in that fashion.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, you could have seen. I wouldn't have predicted Goons to take a 2-0. I could have seen a split, but yeah, you'd have to favor maybe FBK to be the team that could get that 2-0. But you said it. I didn't expect to see it in the kind of more dominant fashion than we did. Yes, the game looks incredibly close in that first one with the 2-1 overtime decision. But you know, if you watched that game, you would have seen Färjestad looking like the better team at all times. But that's why you got to capitalize on your chances. They did so in the second one. Had they only scored 1-2 goals, like they did in that first game, this could have been Goons' game to win. They did get the 3 goals. Yes, one of them came, kind of in that empty net scenario when they were getting desperate, but still, we see what they have. They have the capability to score. They're not afraid to take risks. They're going to do whatever it takes to stay in games. Scoreboard be damned, and I like to see that from this team. Kind of no fear. What do you have to lose? Exactly that. They're kind of saying, all right, well, whatever. Stats aside, save percentages and stuff aside, we know what's important is just wins. We don't want to go into a 2-0 hole early. Unfortunately, they do, but I like the attempt that came out. We're getting another look, just a picture-perfect spin pass from Afe right there. That really is a thing of beauty.
I mean, one of the highlights of this season for sure for a guy, again, that led the league in scoring 45 goals. Able to break that out of the bag of tricks here. And again, there's the goal for him as well. I believe that made it the 4-0 scoreline at that point. So, Sin, a huge turn of events here. Again, that first game, relatively close, but I still can't get over it. Goons, the least penalized team in the regular season. I believe they're going to finish the first 2 games with 11, if not 12, penalties taken.
Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of insane. And towards the end there, Färjestad's percentage on the power play will look a bit closer to what they did in the regular season. So kind of all comes out in the wash there, so to speak. But yeah, they looked extremely dangerous on those major chances that they did have. And that's where a lot of their offense came throughout the course of this series is capitalizing on those chances. But that's what you got to do. You got to take what the other team's giving you. If Goons is going to give you those power plays, take them, capitalize on them. Put those goals in the bank, because you never know when a team's going to get a late flurry like Goons kind of did in this one. And it was oh so important for Färjestad to have the goal cushion that they did down the stretch there.
Absolutely. So again, the first 2 games of this series are in the books. FBK with that 2-0 lead. The next time they play will be this Wednesday. Those particular games will not be on broadcast. Of course, with our 4 opening round matchups, 2 get featured today, 2 more get featured on Wednesday, and then Thursday, well, it depends on what the teams do from there. So again, NHLGamer.com to be able to continue to follow along with this series. Or, of course, if we have somebody in chat like we do tonight, shout out to Solheim, of course, for those updates in the Philadelphia IQ series. We'll be able to follow along here with everything that is going on. So this series, again, takes a back seat for now. We are not done, however, in this particular broadcast, because, again, after a brief intermission, we move on. This was the battle of 4 and 5. We now pay attention to the battle of 3 versus 6, as HAVU Gaming, our 3 seed former champions, take on let's call them the surprising YMCA Esports squad, our 6th seed. That series begins in just a few moments after this brief break. Stick with us. Don't go anywhere.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
Wilhelm vie nakkikioskille kotikatsomossa. Wilhelm vie nakkikioskille kotikatsomossa.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
right, hello everybody, and welcome back. Tuki here, of course, joined as always by my broadcast partner in one, Sin for the win, of course. And Sin, we are off the back of an interesting way to kick off one series between FBK and Goons, and it's about time for the final series of the opening round to begin. Of course, we have heard some results of what else is going on. Actually, maybe not the final series. I don't know if the H-Red series got underway, but at least 3 out of 4 will have gotten underway there. I'm ahead of myself. I can't help it. It's playoff time. The excitement's at an all-time high. Sin, we are getting ready to see former champions in HAVU Gaming take on, again, one of the more surprising teams of the season in YMCA Esports. We'll take a look here at the regular season standings. Again, it is the battle of 3 versus 6 in this one. A 6-win difference in the regular season, I think, tells you all you really have to know heading into this one.
Yeah, and it's what a season it was. I mean, we had so many things shifting, especially in that last couple weeks right there, is who was going to make the playoffs. YMCA firmly got themselves into that 6th spot, which is so important. But yeah, in this matchup, they're going to have to be at their best. I mean, HAVU, a former champion here in the Elite, was eliminated last season in the semis by H-Reds. They're definitely going to be looking to try to get back into the finals here and maybe even reclaim the title that they haven't had for the last season or so. And, YMCA, they're going to have to walk through them. I'm kind of curious, which YMCA team are we going to see? We're going to see the team, that was able to take 2-0 and work their way into the playoffs, or the team that got 2-0'd by ZSC, who was previously in, that relegation position. There has been some inconsistencies for YMCA throughout the course of the season, and going up against a team like HAVU, you cannot afford any of those.
So with that, of course, as well, we'll take a look at the updated bracket as we have it here. And a big welcome to all of you coming over from the Eki stream, as well as you all witnessed Philadelphia and IQ split the first 2 games of that opening round matchup. Our defending champions, Sin, continuing the habit of dropping at least a game to the 8th seed. They did as much against Northern Ascendancy last year as well. Of course, they went on to win every single other game from there. Was the only game that they had dropped. So we'll see what happens with Phila moving forward. Of course, H-Reds and Poggers is the series that we are still waiting to get underway. And for those of you that were with us here, you witnessed Färjestad taking a 2-0 lead over Goons. We are just about ready to begin, though. HAVU and YMCA Esports to kick things off. And Sin, we get a look at the team stats here. In terms of the offense, not a drastic differential, but the key here, without a doubt, is the defensive numbers.
Yeah, it's that HAVU system, the tested, tried, and true, perhaps not as strong as it once was, as some of the teams are getting stronger, getting more used to it, trying to find ways to exploit that system. But if they play to their system, if they're able to make that system work, there's very, very few teams who are better than HAVU in that scenario. And, YMCA are going to have to prove that they can break down that system and continue to play consistently and play consistently good, or else this matchup could get out of hand for them.
With that, of course, we'll take a look at the team lineups here for this particular matchup for YMCA. You have JM, Timothy, and Moja up top. Yamoy and Nilandari on defense. And Benna. We had a Rookie of the Year contender in Piku Roger in the last matchup. We have another one there between the pipes for YMCA. And on the flip side, of course, for HAVU, Pawanso, Dominointi, and the Captain Flyer Kungan. J. Toro, Nasustelia on defense. And it's listed as Hanselino between the pipes. I believe the plan, we thought for a moment it might have ended up being Sibelius. Looks like it might be Hanselino, and we'll get 100%. And there we go. Okay, so we do have 100% confirmation. It will be Hanselino between the pipes rather than Sibelius. But Sin, that is one of the advantages, and we'll be able to talk about that in a moment when we look at the goaltender breakdown. It's one of the advantages that HAVU has had all season long. But as we begin these position-by-position breakdowns, let's go ahead and talk about the Battle of the Centers to kick things off as we do. Dominointi against Timothy. Sim, what stands out here?
Well, it's not a huge discrepancy in points, which may be a bit surprising when you think about which teams they play for and the names that they've been able to establish for themselves, and especially Timothy, transitioning from the wing to center now, really not seeming out of place throughout the course of this season, is hovering around the 50% mark in faceoffs. That being said, Dominointi, again, below 50% in faceoffs as well. So that'll be an interesting sort of thing to kind of take a look at as these two teams go head to head.
Absolutely here. And of course, we'll move on to the battle of the wingers now as well for YMCA Esports, JM and Moja. On the flip side, Pawanzo and Flyer Kungan. Sin, very impressive point totals here across the board. Of course, JM over that goal per game pace. Pawanzo, though, and what he's meant to this HAVU squad, being back in the lineup after sitting out last year, has really revitalized this team.
Yeah, and both JM and Puanso in the top 10. JM tied in 6th with 32. Puanso sitting in 8th with 31. So those are the two goal scorers to sort of keep your eyes on. That being said, though, Flyer Kungan, both he and Puanso, but especially Flyer Kungan, are absolutely menaces on the forecheck with those defensive skill sticks, especially Moy and Nylander. You're going to have to be careful back there on the defensive side of things.
Absolutely. And speaking of the defensive side of things, you just mentioned him, Yamoya Nilandari on defense, going up against Jay Toro and Nasu Stelia. And Sin, clearly one stands above the rest in terms of point production on the blue line.
Yeah, and that would be Jay Toro, the leading, I think actually tied in the lead for goal scoring. Jay Toro amongst defensemen with 12 right there, and second in points with 36. Both him, Nasu Stelia, definitely capable of putting up the points. And yeah, I mean, there's just a huge gap. The second best scorer on the defense, and Nasu Stelia on his team, is better than the top scorer on the defense for YMCA. So that's definitely a discrepancy that may come into effect here.
And with that, of course, our final head-to-head matchup here, it is the battle of the goaltenders. As Sin, we have one of the favorites for Rookie of the Year in Benna, which is an incredibly interesting story in and of itself. We don't know if YMCA would have been here otherwise, but Benna between the pipes going up against Hanselinho, which, again, heading into the stream, we thought it might be Sibelius, but this is the story, and a big congratulations to Hanselinho, by the way. He's going to be a dad. Big congratulations there. And he's going to be looking to get back on top of the competitive NHL mountain here as well. Let's be honest, babies don't pay for themselves. And Sin, he has had a phenomenal season as well. But like I was saying and alluding towards, with Hanselinho or Sibelius, one way or another, you have one of the top goaltenders between the pipes for you if you're HAVU Gaming.
Yeah, and that's, I wonder if they're going to do any time splitting here in this initial series, or if they're going to go to the, tried, true, and tested in Hanselinho back there. It's kind of hard to see them not maybe giving Sibelius some games, especially here in this first round. That being said, I mean, yeah, you said it, both goaltenders especially good, but Benna at times has been able to steal games for YMCA, and he's looked good. 2 shutouts over the course of the season. He'd probably argue he deserves 3, if not for the caster's curse. But we're going to try our best to avoid that, especially whenever it's down the wire here in the playoffs.
So with that, of course, as we always do, we'll look at our 3 keys to success for each of these two sides. We'll start off with YMCA and what they need to look to do in this particular matchup. Sin, for these 3 keys, what stands out for you?
Well, this first one here, no point in being fancy. 12 of 30 games for HAVU have resulted in clean sheets this season. And how defensively HAVU are and how well they defend that we know of. I mean, you need to score goals by any means necessary. Traffic in front, pucks to the net, all the usual cliche sayings YMCA need to do here in the playoffs. Simplify, simplify. The great equalizer on the flip side of the defensive game, and in particular, the goaltending for YMCA has been really nothing to kind of scoff at. HAVU had the second best goals against average in the regular season, and HAVU were 4th, with Bennu being, the 4th best save percentage, that top goalie, probably the favorite for the Rookie of the Year. Definitely going to be someone that they lean on here. The third and final point here is stay out of the box. A gigantic factor in this series is going to be the discipline, or perhaps the lack thereof, for YMCA. They're killing just under 70% of their shorthanded situations. You cannot risk being in those situations when HAVU had the second best power play of the elite division at 33%.
With that, of course, we'll look at our 3 keys as well for HAVU Gaming. Again, Sin, former champions looking to get back to the top of the mountain here. What's it going to take in this series to get back on the right track?
Well, I think it's going to take a hot start. I mean, that's definitely going to be a requirement here. YMCA off of the season they had are definitely going to be, feeling confident moving forward, and rightfully so. Looking back to the season opener for these two clubs, back in late May, there it was a 1-1 split. HAVU kind of had a bit of an interesting start to the season where they didn't quite look like they had everyone on the same page. HAVU won the first game 3-2. The second game, YMCA won 3-1. A bit of a low-scoring affair, as you may expect between these two teams. However, HAVU has a propensity for crushing the spirit of the opposing team early on. If they could do that, they could play to their system. We'll see if they're able to do so early in this series. The second point here is not so dominant. Out of the 8 playoff teams, only 2 have a sub 50% face-off rate, and HAVU is winning that. We kind of touched on that in the beginning when we were looking at Dominointing. Unlike, with YMCA, Dominointing was the team's full-time center. Timothy sort of split time, so the responsibility lies solely on his shoulders. Needs to get off to a good run of form here, and that's definitely going to be a huge part of them perhaps making it out of this first round, as everyone sort of expects. Third and final point here is down with the ship. Every game we called for HAVU this year saw the kind of same story play out. They stick to their strategies and game plan, win or lose, no matter what. They're very hesitant to break out of it. They're very hesitant to try new things, different looks, even if a team is not giving them to them. If YMCA can key in on that and really kind of have a game plan to counteract that and not let HAVU get set up, I think YMCA themselves could dictate the pace of play, which would be a rarity to kind of see, but something we've been seeing a bit more as HAVU has progressed.
Absolutely. So again, just a few moments away here from the beginning of this series. And Sin, again, we'll take another look at the bracket for those of you who might not have seen it. Of course, we covered it a lot in our pregame as well. Philadelphia and IQ splitting the first 2 of their games. And of course, FBK up 2-0 in their best of 7 series against Goons. So going to be very intrigued to see how this plays out moving forward here. Of course, we are still waiting the start of H-Reds and Poggers battle as well. Of course, H-Reds finalists last year. That series begins, I do believe, Sin, tomorrow. That'll be off broadcast as well. The first few games in that particular series. They have a different schedule due to, I presume, scheduling issues compared to everybody else. So, again, we'll do our best to keep you up to date with everything going on here. Of course, NHLgamer.com, your easiest way, of course, to follow along here off broadcast. But Sin, again, we are just about ready to go here for the start of this. And again, it's been one of our big talking points all season long. YMCA Esports projected to finish in one of the relegation spots in the regular season. No such thing happened. 6th best team in the Elite Division through 30 games, but they have a massive challenge ahead of them here. I mean, certainly, they proved a lot of people wrong in making the playoffs to begin with, but man, wouldn't an upset here be something else?
That would be incredible. I mean, that would really kind of solidify how much parity is within this elite division now, especially if perhaps YMCA is able to do that. It would, again, really kind of throw a sort of thorn into this elite division. I'm digging the gamer pick synergy from each squad. A lot of burgers on the right side, those interesting happy faces. How are you feeling today? Things that you get in the hospital for HAVU.
On a scale of 1 to 10, Sin, how much does it hurt?
Yeah, exactly. How much pain are you in? Well, if HAVU dropped this first game, maybe even 2 of them, I would say they'd definitely be in a lot of pain right there. They would be flying high, but it's going to be tough for YMCA. Again, we kind of mentioned it. They've had some inconsistencies, just like HAVU has. So when it comes to the playoffs here, you got to think experience is going to be a huge factor. Not like neither of these teams are experienced, but the advantage, obviously, going with HAVU, who are, have been able to win multiple championships and, didn't win last season, but they did that season before. So, who knows what will happen, but I mean, you got to think advantage with HAVU. It's going to be up to YMCA to prove that, yes, we could throw them off their game. Yes, we could win this. Because if they don't do that, you got to think the edge goes to HAVU.
Previous champions against a team on the rise. We are ready to get things started here in this next first round matchup here of the season 12 postseason here in the Elite Division. HAVU Gaming taking on YMCA Esports. Sin, get the action underway and see how this one plays out. Game number 1 of this best of 7. Early on here, of course, we'll see how the attack really starts to form for these two teams. Of course, HAVU, the home side, in these this change-up of jersey, Sin. They went with almost a Dallas Stars alternate look in the past. Now it's more of a Minnesota from back in the day kind of look. I like it, though. Break out the playoff jerseys and see what happens, as Hanselinho had to make an early stop there. YMCA, it's a matter of just how aggressive will they be. They're in possession now. The big feed up to JM, the captain. Moja feeding it in front for Timothy, and a big stop there for Hanselinho. He was scrambling a little bit to get back into position. Moja has it again. See what he can do here. Has JM down low with him again, rocking the golden helmet. Slap shot on, may have nicked the post there. And a second chance for JM doesn't go as well. Of course, you see there the golden bucket as well for Polanco. Golden helmet signifying the team's leading scorers in the regular season. At least in the opening stages of these playoffs. Eventually that will change. Signify the postseason leading score. Good interception there. Timothy looking to lead it down the other way. Able to find JM. He's got a bit of space. Back to the centerman and all the way up to the blue line. Again, down low. A little bit of miscommunication early on here for YMCA, though, it appears, in terms of trying to move the puck around in the attacking zone. Good movement there and a good stop. Well, if that one actually hit the intended target, may have clipped the side of the net. Of course, for HAVU, incredibly dangerous on every attack. They prey on the mistakes of their opposition. How long can you survive that attacking force? And right now, since the first 10 minutes for the most part, it's been a good effort for YMCA defensively.
Yeah, it definitely has. I mean, yeah, you mentioned a couple hiccups when they get into that offensive zone, you know, places where they zig when they should have zagged right there. But what I do like is they're not allowing HAVU as much to get that down low cycle established. We saw it when they did get it established. They got that behind the net play, then that, you know, tight, you know, chance in front looking for the short side with the man out front, but HAVU didn't let him, or sorry, YMCA didn't let them get that puck back or anything. But yeah, now you're seeing those layers of defense from HAVU play out. If YMCA doesn't counterattack quickly, then they kind of get into this, you know, neutral zone battle with HAVU, which is the last place you kind of want to be in a team like this. But an offensive zone faceoff prevents a great chance for them to establish an attack.
Good note as well, as T-Bay mentioned in chat, apparently, based on the London Knights, because that's the team that you want to base yourselves on. But hey, who am I to judge? We continue onward here, though, in the attacking zone for HAVU now, and a good interception by JM. Of course, we note him for his offensive play, but it has been the two-way play. The YMCA forwards that have stood out throughout this season. As again, miscommunication primarily with Moy down that right-hand side of your screen, but HAVU's offside here. Still over 5 minutes remaining here in the first period.
I'd like to see a couple more D-to-D passes out of YMCA. It's open right now. Yeah, it is scary. You always have to be aware of Polanco, Flyer, and Kungen looking to intercept them, but right now they are sort of collapsing, trying to protect against the down-low stuff initially. You know, keep an eye out, not wanting to let JM get those chances. So, again, we talked about in the pregame, take what's given to you, throw some pucks on net, try to get deflections. You know, HAVU doesn't like to, you know, kind of go off of their game plan so much. So, yeah, I'd like to see that. Some D-to-D passes, some shots from the point, some traffic in front.
Now YMCA know where to go, trying to gain the attacking zone. Pass there, intercepted. Good back check by Dominoiti to get into the passing lane on that one. YMCA going to be able to recover this. Neither team really able to gain that offensive foothold consistently, but here's some space. Chance, and he tried to go back to the short side. Moja nowhere to go. Off of that defensive pressure from HAVU. 1 minute to go here. An incredibly fast-paced first period. A lot of back-and-forth action. Both teams trying to establish their control over this game. Okay, Toro back down low. Good movement here. Wrap-around bid for Polanco, but no movement whatsoever from the netminder.
Yeah, good job from Benna right there to hold that short side, something that he's going to have to get used to doing, especially against this HAVU team who loves those wrap chances, those in-tight short side opportunities.
Face-off win there. JM will send it all the way down, and that'll do it. And for the first period, a goalless affair. And all things considered, I mean, again, this game's still completely up for grabs.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, goalless maybe not so unexpected when it comes to these two teams, especially a team like HAVU, as good as they are defensively and how much they can play to the system. If you find a way to counteract that, you can, limit their offense as well. And YMCA did a pretty good job of that. But now for YMCA, I think it's time they shake up their offensive zone presence as well. It seems like they want to get that puck down low. They want to set up on the half wall, but HAVU's not giving it to them. There's been multiple times where Yamoy has tried to pass that puck down and nothing's there, and that's kind of illustrated by the low shot totals and the low time on attack for either side. They both seemingly want to do something, and it's not there. Now it's about which team is going to make that adjustment, start going kind of outside the box. I think we kind of know that it probably won't be HAVU, so the onus is on YMCA. You're not a team where we can say, oh, here's your system, it works. If you can get it to work, keep going for it. They haven't really been the kind of team to prove that they are that. HAVU has. They have the track record. So if you're YMCA, it's kind of on you to shake things up, start establishing something so that you can score and, maintain a lead against HAVU and try to get them out of their comfort zone.
Second period underway here. Still looking for the opening goal of this first game and result of this series. HAVU in on the attack right now, dominating to the flyer. Kungan can't get that shot off. Players in defense and a good chop there by JM to maintain possession for his club. Let's see what YMCA are able to do here, trying to get something going on this breakout. A couple of fortunate bounces there, but still not able to maintain possession. Right now, Sim, it's just a battle of who's going to break first, and if anything, this might be a confidence booster for YMCA, so long as they don't give up this first goal. It's HAVU in the zone right now. Dominointi around the back. Pass in front, and they score! Sin, the commentator's curse is alive and well. Flyer Kungan has the opening goal of this series.
And there it was, the down-low cycle from HAVU. They got it going. They kicked it out front, and Flyer Kungan, the captain of HAVU, getting that big first goal right there. And wasn't bad coverage, but I think that would be a Nilandri there. He gave up the middle to Flyer Kungan, something you cannot do. Either stay in his face or, stay on the inside of him. Make sure the goalie only has to worry really about one angle. That time he had to worry about a couple angles right there. He got caught shifting towards the middle of the net towards his left, and Flyer Kungan put it home on the short side. 1-0 for HAVU.
The opening goal there for the favorites in this series. The supporters of YMCA, don't worry, I'll try to jinx HAVU in response. Try to keep it fair. And to the point, big stop there by Benna, is able to fend off an extra chance for Flyer Kungan, looking to get his second of the game in as many minutes.
Yeah, and this is something that HAVU loves. When they have the lead in the game, that's where they can really dictate. That's the way they're kind of meant to play with their system. The layers of defense, the counterattacks, getting their down-low cycle established. Good turnover. We're going to see them look for it right here. A bit of a play on the point. Immediately down low. You saw Flyer Kungan sort of transitioning to get into that the lower rollout position in that kind of bumper spot on the lower half wall.
As he got another chance in front there. Puck still up for grabs, knocked loose behind the back of the net. Alonso sends it all the way back. Jay Toro's going to win the race to that one. Forward play along the half wall, fights his way out. Alonso, fake shot, looking at his options, takes the hit. To get it back to Nasistelli at the point. He's in trouble though. Bit of movement there. Moja going to be slowed down by Jay Toro. That pass intercepted by Flyer Kungan. YMCA with the big interception, but just nowhere to go. Big step up hit there, but not able to make the play. That one off the pads. Rebound up to Dominointi. They intended it again. YMCA having to move the puck so fast, and they still can't find space through the neutral zone, but they do force an offside here with 8:51 to play.
And a huge hit after the whistle right there. I believe it was JM laying out Jay Toro. Now Sestelia coming in, trying to get one bump on him before the screen swap to the face-off. Wasn't able to do so. So all the little things. It's a mental battle as well. So do what you can to throw your opponent off their game.
Interesting look there from Pawanso, and a penalty is called. It'll be a YMCA power play here as Pawanso goes to the box. YMCA, the 12th ranked power play in the regular season, as Consolino forced to make a save. fourth best PK for HAVU, so the odds in HAVU's favor, but Sin, this is where YMCA need to find the back of the net.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that would be huge. They need a response right here. No better time to get it right than right now.
Big interception here. Short-handed bid for Flyer Kungan. One man to beat. Great defense there from Nylander to shut him down for the moment. A valuable time ticking off the clock here for YMCA. The first power play chance as Flyer Kungan just sends it down. One more rush bid here before we're back to 5-on-5. There's the pass to Yamoy. Tried to get it in front. And indeed, a successful kill for HAVU. Trying to turn defense to offense. Palonzo's pass. He scores! Stanley recovered a loose puck. Throws it off the back of Benna. And it goes 2-0 HAVU.
That is a heartbreaker of a goal right there. Great forecheck. Looks like it was a buffered shot as well, as he was going to bump the man behind the net, but it works. It goes off the skate, and Benna not hugging the post in that situation, as you obviously don't think that you need to, but Dominointi getting rewarded there for the forecheck. The puck off the foot and in. That's a heartbreaker for YMCA, but again, kind of, preluded by the failure to capitalize and really generate anything on their power play.
A heartbreaking turn of results there for YMCA. Now down by 2, again, against the second best defensive team in the league in the regular season. YMCA, of course, top 8 offense, but I mean, sitting here, 2 against 8, it's not too bad, but there can be a drastic difference within that margin. YMCA not able to time it well at the line. 2:08 to go here in the second. A 2-0 lead for HAVU.
Yeah, and this is, HAVU's got them right where they want them. A multi-goal lead. They can just kind of, do their thing, play defense when they need to, get the counterattack pressure, set up their low cycle, and they're pretty much home free. It's hard for teams to come back once HAVU gets in the position they want to get in. I mean, they are one of the best teams here in the Elite Division.
The attacking zone here now. Palonzo. That one rifled around behind the goal line. Final minute here. Chance for one more rush for YMCA. JM has it now down low in the corner. Back to Yamoy at the point. JM can't throw it on. And Sin, that's looking like a real weakness on that right-hand side of our screen.
Yes.
For JM and Yamoy, it hasn't been clicking, and they just haven't been able to get the offense that they'd be looking to get in those scenarios.
Yeah, I was just going to kind of point that out. They keep trying the same thing over and over and over again, and you're not going to break down HAVU by doing that. HAVU has a system, and if they know what you're going to do, it makes that system even easier to play right there. And all Yamoy is doing is trying to go back down low to JM, and right now, Flyer Kungan, Nasusteli, even Dominoiti, all over that. They're not allowing anything to get set up. Even if they make that pass, there's a guy on them immediately. Again, I don't think we saw a single D-to-D pass from YMCA, and which is honestly kind of bizarre to me. With how good HAVU is at collapsing, how good they are at positioning, you got to get them moving laterally, and YMCA just simply wasn't doing that at all.
HAVU back in possession here. Third goal could very well end it. There's the chance there, a penalty called. HAVU going to the power play here. Going to see who that one was against. It's Yamoy taking the penalty, and then big chance here for HAVU to end this one. I mean, we talked about the YMCA power play chance earlier. HAVU, the second best power play, 12th rated PK out of 16 for YMCA. It's what we talked about. They can't afford to take those penalties.
Yeah, absolutely not. And we'll get to see HAVU's this power play go to work, and definitely one of the deadlier ones. Gives them more space to set up that cycle game.
And there it is. Goal number 3 for HAVU. And that should just about do it. Pawansa, team leading scorer, joins in on the fun. It goes from bad to worse for YMCA.
Yeah, and with how much time left, it may kind of sound bizarre to say that might do it, but HAVU is one of those teams that again, if they have any sort of multi-goal lead, it is so hard to knock them off of it. The one team I can think of that's done it was a couple seasons ago, Philadelphia, where they're able to come back from series deficit, goals deficit for that 3-1 comeback and win themselves the championship. But I simply don't see it right now from YMCA.
Creative look there from Alonso. No end result. One play there by Flyer Kungan to stop that pass in its tracks. Alonso down low. Flyer Kungan looking, tried to go back to Dominointi. YMCA right now, it's just a matter of building a little bit of momentum heading in to the rest of this series there, as that one's taken away at the last moment. Celia sends it around the back. Let's see what Jay Toro can do. Nice pass along the wall. Knocked loose. Dominointi is there to recover. Now it's Celia. Pass in front again, off the leg of the defender. But right now taking their time. Crucial interception from Yamoy there. But offside as he tried to lead it down the ice.
Yeah, and you're really getting a taste of just how good a HAVU looks when, you know, they have that ability to play their game. And that's why they've won the championships they have. That's why they're always near the top of the standings every season. You know, maybe not as good of luck as they've had in the past in that regard, as other teams able to adjust a bit, throw them off their game as well. The division getting better around them. But so far, YMCA has no answer for it. They're unable to break down the defense. They're really been unable to even generate much offense as they keep going back to the well themselves. And now they're the ones seeming a bit stubborn to, come off of their game plan to generate something.
That one taken away, Nasistelia. Again, YMCA, just the layers in defense for HAVU giving them so much trouble. We're halfway through this third period. Few notable moments attacking-wise. Making up new words here on the fly, but an attacking sense for YMCA. It's just been a dominant HAVU defensive display.
Yeah, and the quick counterattack not even there as well. Nasistelia, Jay Toro doing such a good job, but really especially Nasistelia, as we've seen a lot of the attack trying to come from the screen right side for YMCA and just being shut down. Again, they get the zone, but 1, 2, 3 green jerseys come up to pressure the puck, and eventually that was Dominointi getting the turnover, getting the clear. Again, forced at the blue line. Nice bump there from JM. They'll generate something.
Pass in front, intercepted by Jay Toro, recovered for a second time. What a pass, and again, maybe one pass too many. Sin, it was one of our keys. Don't get too fancy. And indeed, if you look for nothing but high quality against HAVU, it's going to be tough because those chances are very difficult to come by. Also, Stelia has it here towards the point. D to Jay Toro. Back down low, Palazzo has a goal in this game. Pass in front of Dominointi off the mark. So the YMCA can do a different look here on the dump and chase. Huge double team pressure as Moja got sent flying by his own teammate there. We have an offside down the other way.
Yeah, just offside right there. It was a good pass attempt. Almost sprung the Flyer Kungan for another counterattack, but 3:03 left. 3-0 for HAVU. And at this point, it seems like it's just a formality. This one maybe mercifully almost over for YMCA. They're going to have to regroup for game 2.
Shot and scores, Palazzo. Sneaking one past Benna on the glove side. And Sin, that is a statement goal right there for Palazzo. What a shot.
Yeah, absolutely. That's his, I believe, the second one of the game for him, and that's a huge goal right there. Again, not a bad angle from Benna, but that's just kind of seeming to be the case of what's happened to YMCA in this one. Oh, you're not doing bad. You're not doing bad. Oh, cute. One single play coming out from HAVU in the back of your net.
40 to go here. This one just about over and done with. See what happens here, though, in the final few moments. Again, YMCA will be desperate to find anything they can sort of grasp onto heading in to the rest of this series. A little bit of space, and again, it evaporates as quickly as it's discovered. And a big set of hits there. Jay Toro being knocked around all over the ice. JM has it down low, trying to hold on to it. Timothy's there with him. Landary nowhere to go. Timothy holding on to this one still, feeds JM. Gonna tour the zone here, pass across, and what a look there. Great attempt from YMCA, but JM just couldn't hit the target. Flyer Coogan tried to weave his way through the traffic. Final 10 seconds. HAVU starting off this playoff campaign in the exact way that they would have hoped. It's going to be a big 4-0 victory and a playoff shutout for Hansalinja.
Yep, and just a statement victory from HAVU. We kind of we're maybe harping on them a bit this season about, kind of seeming like they're starting to get countered by more and more teams. And will this kind of hold up when the playoff competition is that much more stiff? Are you going to be able to play to your system? Well, they prove right there that if they get that going, I mean, perhaps no better team than them at times. And, 4-0 win against YMCA, that's about as good as it gets. Just 3 registered shots with 3 minutes time on attack for YMCA. Again, it's easy for us to say about what you should do to be able to beat a team like HAVU. It can be so, intimidating going up against them. But I really feel like that we have something in the midst of YMCA. Just need to take shots, because you're not going to get those high quality chances too often against HAVU. It almost seems like an oxymoron. Are you going to get a lot of high quality chances against HAVU? Probably not. They simply do not allow them so often. So in this next game, I'd like to see, YMCA kind of broaden their horizons, expand their horizons a little bit, start getting those D-to-D passes, start taking some shots to the point, look for those dirty goals, look for the greasy front of the net rebound, weird bounces. I mean, you never know what can happen. Remember that Dominontigo came off of a buffered shot that hit Bena's foot and went in. You never know when a bounce like that is going to go your way, but the only way it'll go your way is if you're in there on the forecheck, is if you're putting pucks on net. That's simply what it comes down to. And you're muted.
Apparently, yes, I was. Well, there we go. Apparently, though, regardless, game 1 in the books there. HAVU over YMCA. Sin will be back after a brief word from our sponsors, getting ready for game 2 in the series. Don't go anywhere. Will I be muted on the other side of the break? Stay tuned to find out.
Wilhelm vie nakkikioskille kotikatsomossa.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
All right, everybody, and we are back. For those of you that predicted muted or not, well, hey, here you go. You got your answer. But speaking of predictions, Sin, not only do I want to get yours, of course, we want to get all of yours in chat. A live prediction right now as to who is going to win Game 2. And Sin, as you'd expect, the favorite's going to be HAVU, as they were heading into the series, but especially after as dominating of a performance there. It wasn't for a lack of chances for YMCA, but they just weren't consistent opportunities.
Yeah, they were kind of few and far between when they got those big chances right there. I mean, that last chance right there was huge. It was a great pass towards the slot for JM. He was streaking towards the middle and he got the shot away. I believe it went wide right there. And you kind of saw him in the chat sort of lamenting that fact, asking, how do you hit the net? And it can be tough at times. But then again, those kind of things seem so much bigger when they're not coming as often as you'd like. And they're not going to come that often against HAVU. So we kind of said it. We said it in the pregame. We mentioned it in the keys. We were mentioning it during the game. We're going to mention it again here. YMCA, you may need to sort of not just look for those high quality opportunities. You're going to have to throw some pucks on the net. Yeah, it kind of feels like you're taking your destiny out of your hands at times, but here in the playoffs, you're going to have to try something. And I think this first goal in the second game is going to be so important. If, again, HAVU is able to get that stranglehold on the game that they love to play with, I really worry for YMCA's chances. So I think they got to start throwing pucks on net and be hungry. Be hungry on those rebounds. Be hungry for those loose pucks. Be hungry on those defensemen. The second you get the puck, put a body on them, just like you see Flyer Kungen and Puanso doing. They're always hungry there on that forecheck. They're able to get back as well. So it is possible to mix caution and aggression and to find success. YMCA, they're going to have to somehow pull that out here in game 2.
And again, if you are as hungry as they need to be, make sure to support our sponsors at Wilhelm, Kovalon, Lakritzy, and of course Viaplay as well. A lovely entertainment option while you're enjoying some of the fine products from the other two. And we thank all three of them for helping sponsor this season and make it what it has been since we are ready for game number 2. If this season has been anything to go off of, 5-0 YMCA victory, just because.
Yeah. Definitely possible. I mean,
Expect the unexpected.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, hey, you never know. If YMCA, again, it's all about taking HAVU off their game. One way to do that is get an early lead. Another way to do that is to throw different looks at them, get them moving in their own end. We didn't see enough of that. We saw a lot of trying to send it back down the half boards. I want to see some D-to-D passes. I want to see some shots from the point, some one-timers, perhaps from different areas, not just those in-tight chances on the short side or in the slot. Go a bit higher, above the hash marks with your forwards, because we know HAVU like to pinch. If they have to cover one of those forwards in that high slot, something's going to open up down low. So we'll see if HAVU's going to, be able to mix things up to good effect here in the second game.
Indeed, we shall see. HAVU in the white. Of course, the dark jerseys there for YMCA. Game number 2 underway. HAVU in on the attack early on. See if they're able to get that early chance. Flyer Kungan on the doorstep was looking for that deflection bid. And a shot there blocked down. A bit of defense for YMCA early on, but it's a matter of the transition game. And finding the offense. Chance there. Slap shot on. Loose puck in the traffic. Still trickling towards goal. But it was taken away from Jay Toro at the last moment there. Same we always say, the first goal, very important in any particular game, let alone a playoff game, but even more so for YMCA here after being shut out in game 1.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, especially, with the fact that HAVU is a team that loves to play with multi-goal leads, especially.
That one taken away at the last moment. Shot on and a big stop there. Early on from Hanselina. Flyer Kungan trying to generate a bit of speed going down the other way. Jay Toro. Pass for Flyer Kungan taken away at the last moment. Dominoiti. Tried a quick give and go. Couldn't really generate any speed. YMCA, of course, it was a strong start, but it was turnovers like that got them in trouble. Flyer Kungan trying to get to the net front there, just not able to do so. Jam will slow things down a little bit. Fortunately, a little bit too much. They're offside here.
Yeah, good opportunities. I like YMCA early on. They're throwing some pucks on net and, just a step or two behind crashing the net for those rebounds. But again, I like the shift in mentality already. It's good to see that. Get that, under your belt right there. And the first time they were trying that, they got a few loose pucks. They sort of prevented the breakout of HAVU. More of that.
Another great chance. Wrap around. They score. Bennett gets caught on the far post. Powanzo makes no mistake as he gets a wraparound goal sent into a wide open net.
Yeah, and that was just unfortunate right there from Bennett, who got that initial save, slid over to guard against that, overslid by, just the littlest of bits, and that allows Powanzo right there to sort of circle around and get a quick one, not even with the proper wrap animation, just a quick little shot, finding the back of the net right there. And again, HAVU with the opening goal, YMCA on the ropes again.
So here we go. We continue on. HAVU, that opening goal, worst case for YMCA. We will see how they respond to this one. HAVU, of course, going to look to add to the damage done here. Not mistaken us in outscoring them 5-0 in this series so far. This one's going to go all the way down the other way. Jay Toro able to recover it. Turns it over there, though. Let's see what Moja can generate off of that interception. JM looking. Goes to Yamoy to the other side. Nilandari down low. For those plays in HAVU. Just stifling them at every opportunity. Nowhere to go on these chances. Great movement. Dominoiti back across. Flyer Kungan. Powanzo has it and he scores! Sin Calm, the ultimate opportunist at this stage. Powanzo finding ways to score goals left, right, and center. It's 2-0 HAVU.
Yeah, it's sort of just a broken play goal that got real hectic right there, and YMCA's defensemen kind of both committed a little too much on that screen left side, which opened up the right. They got that first initial kind of pass, but sort of bounced around. He's able to slide it under before tripping over his captain, Flyer Kungen, right there. Powanso, though, huge goal, 2-0 for HAVU, and already it feels like for YMCA the wheels are starting to fall off again.
Again, the worst case scenario at this stage. And we'll see what happens now moving forward for YMCA. It goes from bad to worse. Still yet to find their opening goal of this series. Demoy shot blocked. Recovered, shot on Hanselino. I don't know if he ever even saw that one. We'll see more of that from YMCA here as this game, and especially as this series goes on, it could be a short one. Get down to the final minutes here of this first period. Here's Powanso already on a brace, looking for that hat trick. YMCA back in possession here now, though, trying to go back down the other way. Timothy holding up, and again, nowhere. More YMCA to go once they're in the attacking zone. Incredibly quick movement. Loose puck recovered by Flyer Kungen. Can't get it down the boards. Another pass, just not finding its intended target. Down to just about the final minute of play here in the first period. It's been all HAVU so far in this series. Dominoiti has it now. Powanso back to Flyer Kungen, and a big stop by Benna. And he's able to find the puck and cover.
Yeah, it's YMCA again, they're really on the ropes here, but once HAVU has that lead, we talk about it so often, they just seem to snowball from there and kind of really have the ability to sort of steamroll their opponents, and YMCA so much trouble getting the puck even into the zone. They take a trip right there, perhaps a good penalty, as that was Powanso going in on the hat trick bid. Maybe could have got a shot away. Nonetheless, they're going to have to kill this penalty off. 7 seconds is a lot of time here off the face-off.
See how it plays out, of course. 32 the face-off here. It's been close. Tie up on the draw. YMCA will come up with it, playing with fire by not clearing it, but that pass off the mark. Jake Toro's sweep, it ends up in the back of the net, but too little too late. It's been a dominant performance there for HAVU. Only 2 shots, but it's all they needed.
Yeah, 2 shots, 2 goals. I believe that it's an identical shot total to after the first period of the first game, but this time HAVU has more time on attack. They got the 2 goals, and YMCA, the 1 registered shot, I believe, was a shot from JM that kind of hit the pad, and no one was there for the rebound. So they were attempting to throw more pucks on the net. Not a whole lot of them were, either getting through or. But again, I liked when they were doing that. They were able to get some rebounds, at least kind of take HAVU off their game. But the second that HAVU seems to gain the lead and kind of throw you off, it's so much harder to get the puck into the zone that maybe you sort of find yourself in a deficit like that, starting to look for those high-quality chances. It's sort of a catch-22. You need the higher quality chances to get some goals and make them up quickly, but they're just not. They're so hard to come across.
HAVU here with this power play opportunity. And not the situation YMCA needed to find themselves in. Valuable time off the clock, but again, HAVU, that huge advantage in terms of regular season power play against YMCA's PK numbers, but pass off the mark there will kill more time in favor of YMCA. Now 30 seconds to go as HAVU gain the attacking zone here once more, and they do with Jay Toro. He drops back and again receives the puck down low. That pass off the mark and cleared out, so a solid job for YMCA to complete that kill, and a chance here shorthanded. Perhaps JM banked it off the back of the net, and Moshe will draw a trip, so we'll see what YMCA can do here as they'll go to a man advantage of their own. JM cycles out. Extra attacker is on. He has it and loses it, but still a 5-on-3 here. There was actually a second call, so a huge chance here for YMCA. Did not see the second call. Both of them? Or just one of them?
I think it's both defensemen. I saw 23 heading off, so yeah, that's both their defensemen.
I don't know if they were both called on the same play, but if so, I've never seen anything like that. One-timer and a big glove save by Hanselino.
This is huge opportunity. Yeah, YMCA, this is absolutely massive here. Both the defensemen are off the ice for HAVU, and you have a 5-on-3. You have to score at least one here.
Minute 45 to work with. Flyer Kungen gets it, sends it all the way down. If this was Goons, we might see them pull the goalie. We got the movement through neutral ice here. Down low, the pass in front broken up. Nylander looking, pass across, and another big stop by Hanselinho. Then that's the issue. Generate the chances. The problem is then you have to beat one of the best goaltenders in NHL gamer history.
Yeah, and he is looking exceptionally sharp here, picking up the shutout in that first game and looking great here in the second.
Again, that one-time play looking for JM in the Ovechkin spot. Pass in front, loose. JM just couldn't knock that one home, and another trip's being called. Slap shot misses wide on the short side. Moja looking, pass down, low shot, scores! From along the goal line. YMCA are on the board with another delayed call. It's Timothy banging that one home, and Sin, there it is. There's the break that they needed.
Absolutely huge. Timothy there with the quick slapper from the odd angle there. Beats Hanselinho on the short side. I mean, that's just a great job from him. As Benna, you can see at the top of the screen, just getting onto the ice. And I believe that they will continue to have, at least off the face-off, a brief 5-on-3. As, yes, they will. They'll have a brief 5-on-3 as we'll see okay, so Jay Toro comes out. This is interesting how it's going to work, people coming out of the box.
We'll get a look at the timer here in a moment. There we go. We're back now to 5-on-4. Both defenders are out. So 1:30 worth of power play time as YMCA finally find their opening goal in this series. Good job keeping the puck in. Self-inflicted wounds really from HAVU, and another big stop from Hanselinho. Big save there.
And a face wash there after the whistle. That was Flyer Kungen saying, get away from my goalie. But YMCA, I like it. They're taking more shots. They're getting guys to the front of the net, and it's really looking good.
The possession off the draw. JM circling. Nylander looking for his option. Finds Moja again, trying that short side. Keep him honest, and it could open up chances on the far side. Jay Toro going to try to kill off some more time shorthanded. He might try to take it to the house. Look at Jay Toro fending off nearly the entire team as we're back to 5-on-5.
Yeah, meanwhile, while that was happening, there was a massive hit in the neutral zone. I think that was even Nylander coming over to bounce on him right there. But yeah, you said it. Meanwhile, Jay Toro got the last laugh, had about 3 or 4 bodies on him, killing time, and we're back to 5-on-5 now.
YMCA back into this game. And they find that tying goal, though. We're only halfway through regulation, at least just about. Flyer Kungen drops back for Dominoiti. Too much traffic. He's not able to hold on to it. YMCA gained the line with their great passing back in front. Just one pass too many in terms of what they had to make that play happen. Good movement here down the other way, but a better interception there by Timothy on the back check. And he gets it back here. Defender pinching up. Nylander trying to make something happen. He's forced to circle back. Moy's shot blocked down by Flyer Kungen. JM. Not even on the off wing. He's on the off point. Tries to get back to where he wants to be. Trying to find an opening here are YMCA. Nylander again on the offhand, trying to make something happen. Timothy down low in front. What a stop. Hanselinho, tough to stay focused with that much time in the attacking zone for YMCA. Sin, it's one of the best looks they've had.
Absolutely, and they finally got what they wanted to do, the cycle off of that wall right there, but it came from them moving a lot of bodies around. They weren't too stagnant. Everyone was kind of shifting. Good face-off win.
And has it down low there. And again, the wraparound bid just doesn't go. Great opportunity.
It was. It kind of looked like it slid through the legs there of Hanselinho and popped out front as... Never mind, that was just a bit of a stutter right there. I thought we had a pause coming out.
A chance here now for HAVU off of the draw, trying to go down the other way. Dominoiti. Good D-to-D work here. Jay Toro's shot blocked down by Moja. 4 minutes to go here in the second period. Have ourselves a game after a dominant one-sided performance for HAVU. Game 1, that one may have just clipped the top of the crossbar. Jay Toro gets it back, tried to throw it in front, nobody there. And a free clearance for YMCA. we go now, back down. The other way perhaps here for HAVU. They're forced to play it safe here as YMCA continue to get more aggressive. Jay Toro. Can't get it. Oh, he does get it back from Dominoiti. A near interception there. Takes a huge hit for his troubles. But that pass off the mark. With 31 seconds to go, Sin, huge face-off in the YMCA zone.
Yeah, a bit of an unforced error there for YMCA, and HAVU, a huge opportunity for them to maybe get that 2-0 lead back.
Let's see what they can do here. HAVU in the attacking zone still. Shot on, deflects, loose puck. I bet I was just able to cover that one. Nearly saw Puanzo get a piece of it.
Yeah, Puanzo was there, and Flyer Kungen was the guy coming in late looking for a piece of that rebound. But yeah, good cover from Benna, but another defensive zone face-off.
3 seconds, one-timer deflects wide. Back to the point, Jay Toro. That's the most power I've ever seen on a wrist shot, but it was wide as time expires. So a 2-1 lead for HAVU heading into the third period of Game 2.
Yeah, and I think we saw at the end there, if I'm not mistaken, one of the things that popped up on screen was the shot totals from that period, and I think I saw 10 for YMCA and 1 for HAVU Gaming. So, again, those power plays really seeming to benefit YMCA, but Hanselino stood tall, made some huge saves. Just the one goal to beat him was that shot from Timothy that we saw Moja also try, kind of going back to the well, and why not? If it worked once, it worked again. Make them feel, the pressure from that short side. But yeah, look how far the power plays went to sort of even this game up time on attack-wise and shot-wise. YMCA with the huge advantage right now, but still down in this one. So you can kind of see, the sort of mentality did shift from YMCA. You like to see that. They understood what didn't work in that first game. They're trying, some new things in this second game. You like to see it. They have a goal because of it. They're within reach. All they need to do is find one more here, which is obviously easier said than done against this defense and goaltender. But if they're going to do it, they're going to keep doing it in the way that they are right now. Take shots, get rebounds, dig. The
third period underway. Let's see how this one plays out. Again, our fourth and final game of this broadcast. We thank you very much for joining us. And we have a delayed call here. It's going to be another penalty against HAVU. That one blocked down. Sin, incredible opportunity for YMCA here with Nasistelia taking a seat.
Yeah, his second penalty taken in this game alone right there. As just a bit of a double hit right there against the boards. Maybe a hip check coming in, and someone went flying. And nonetheless, a power play opportunity for YMCA now. We'll see if they can get another good opportunity.
Again, their lone goal of the game, their lone goal of the series. Great keeping by Nilanderi. That goal was on the power play. One-timer and a big stop by Hanselino. The corner looked open. Off the chance for Jamoy there, but it does not go.
And that's that one advantage of having the right-handed shot on that right side, and perhaps the reason we weren't seeing a ton of D-to-D passes starting from Yamoy. Errant pass right there leads to a free clear, but without the threat of the one-time on that right side, you may see limited passes. However, it's a good thing still to do it, because oftentimes teams are so used to defending against the one-time, they'll react the same way regardless.
Short-handed bid here for HAVU. Nothing coming out of it, but that'll pretty much do it for the YMCA power play. They're in the attacking zone. It's gone, and we are back. 5-on-5, so a decent look. But no sustained pressure for YMCA. They're in the attacking zone here now. Desperate need of this tying goal. Down low from Moja, finds Timothy. Back to the point, Sauce down low, couple deflections. HAVU ends up back in control. Jay Toro having a little bit of trouble here. Sestelia leads it into the attacking zone. A bit of space developing there for JM, but Jay Toro's there to shut him down. Jay Toro seemingly coming out of nowhere there, at least for the moment he wasn't in view.
I thought it was a breakaway. I was like, oh my God, JM, what a play by Jay Toro, reading the situation and being there to cover for his right defensive partner.
What a chance there as well from Moja cutting across. His follow-up pass is intercepted. Flyer Kungen has it. One man to beat. Has Dominoiti with him, who draws the call. And HAVU will go to the power play in this one, as we have Moja taking a seat for that tripping call.
Yeah, not a bad penalty to take, but it was so well played initially by Yamoy, who got the kind of deflection off the initial Sauce, slowed it down, was able to get up there, and defended it pretty well up to that point, but still a dangerous 2-on-1 coming out, and we'll see the power play for HAVU go to work.
Goal here would almost certainly end it despite 12 minutes to go. In regulation, what a stop by Benna to get a piece of that one. Remember that save if YMCA are able to make something happen here as HAVU iced the puck on their own power play.
Yeah, so I think he did get a piece of it, but I also heard it kind of go off the post as well. Nonetheless, a huge chance, but yeah, an even bigger one now. Timothy wins this draw. He does. They can kill some time. They go actually for the one-time chance from Yamoy right there. Not a bad look.
Australia has it here at the point. Final minute of this power play. Puck fed down low, recovered by Flyer Kungen. Good chance for Dominuenti on the doorstep. Better stop by Benna. Puck down low, deflects and goes all the way back down. Big clearance here. This rush will potentially be impeded by the man coming out of the box. There we go, back to 5-on-5. Space for Flyer Kungen. Disappears equally as quick. Knocked loose though, and it's HAVU back in control. We're halfway through the third. Flyer Kungen looking, tried the short side, still has it there. Looked like he tried the short side, went all the way around the back to feed Pawansa, who just couldn't pull the trigger on the shot. And a chance there, he does on that attempt. He scores once again, Pawansa leading the way for HAVU. Cindy, you think he's excited to be back in the playoffs after not playing last year, and that is a heartbreaking goal for YMCA.
I mean, he absolutely has to be, and even more so, his team's got to be excited that he's back in the mix because he's coming out with some huge goals. And oh, how does that goal scored? The down low cycle from HAVU behind the net, kicked out front, either short side or in the slot right there, as Flyer Kungen took an injury for his troubles right there. But I'm sure it's worth it for that 2-goal lead here in the second half of the third.
The hat trick there for Pawanso's second hat trick that we've seen in this broadcast. Alonso joining, I believe, Antonio Mandan from that first matchup with FBK. This one down the other way. Jam wins the foot race. Sends it back. Nobody there. For YMCA right now, self-inflicted wounds getting the better of them.
Yep, and 2-on-1 developing.
Oof, nearly picked off there by Flyer Kungen. Lucky break for Moyes. They'll lead it down the other way, and again, just knocked loose as they cross the blue line. Another pass off the mark. For YMCA, an incredible job of making the playoffs, but the problem is once you get here, I mean, especially too, you know, if it's that 4 or 5 battle, you're feeling pretty confident, but once you get that separation of 1 versus 8, 2, 7, and 3 versus 6 like we have in this matchup here, I mean, again, there was only a 6-point difference in the regular season, but you see as well just how drastic a 6-point differential can be. YMCA have it here under 4 minutes to go, down by 2. You need a goal here fast. Flyer Kungen wins it. Here's Pawanso. He's looking for 4, and he'll get it on the backhand. What a finish there. Fakes going across the far side and sin for Benna. That's a tough one. But in terms of the reaction, you got to just try to trust that your defender would be able to make a play if he goes far side.
Yeah, and again, it was pretty well played by Benna. His reaction to that wasn't too bad. It's just Pawanso found the tiniest of gaps, and he gets himself the Ovechtrick. 4 goals in one game, 4-1 for HAVU. What a boon Pawanso has been coming back, looking like he's not missed a step at all. And my goodness, this playoff performance from him so far, impressive to say the least.
You know, a chip on his shoulder heading into this season. Big stop, secondary stop. Puck still up for grabs. And Benham will play that one out. HAVU looked dangerous when Hans Solinho left the crease last year to play wing, replacing Pawanso, who sat out all of last year. That worked out well until they ran into H-Reds in round 2, who simply knew how to counter the looks because Hans Solinho didn't have that 1T option on that left-hand side. You look at this team now with Pawanso being back in the lineup. I mean, HAVU's looking as dangerous perhaps as they've ever looked. And of course, Jay Toro along the blue line as well. That left-hand side's been completely revitalized. And they are 25 seconds away now from taking a 2-0 series lead here in round 1 against YMCA, who up to this point have just 1 goal through these first 2 games. The icing call here with 14 seconds left gives them an opportunity try and maybe build a little bit of momentum heading into the back half of the series.
Yeah, I mean, a goal here would go, a pretty decent way to at least, be good for the psyche right here, because only scoring 1 across 2 games is not exactly great.
Ooh, Flyer Kungen just ran out of runway. Final 3 seconds. They send it down nice and wide, and that'll do it. HAVU, a 2-0 series lead here in the opening round matchup in Sin. Outside of that goal from Timothy that made it a 1-goal game for the most part, it was never in doubt.
Yeah, really wasn't. I mean, HAVU dictated the pace of play really from start to finish. Maybe YMCA got off to a bit of a better start in this one, looking like they had some better looks with the power play time. They had even, they were looking good throughout that. They looked poised to perhaps be able to tie it up, maybe even take the lead, but again, it was, HAVU just doing what they do when they, work in the counterattack, when they have that lead, getting that down low cycle when they get the, the offensive zone. And when it came down to it, YMCA didn't have enough answers. Again, numbers-wise, that game very even, but it was the quality of chances that HAVU started getting versus the quality that YMCA was able to muster, which wasn't as much, despite, getting some more shots, which is good. That's what we wanted out of them. Start taking shots from kind of, anywhere and everywhere. You may generate more looks, and they absolutely did. The power play looked good because of it. The beginning of the game looked good because of it. So I don't think they should completely scrap that look, because if game 1 proved anything, it's that those consistently getting the high quality chances simply isn't going to be there either. So we'll see, if YMCA is maybe able to, make a couple adjustments and kind of combine some things here to be able to come back in the series. But if they're not, if they keep allowing HAVU to get those early leads and take control from the get-go, I don't see them getting too far in this series.
So again, a huge start to this series for HAVU and a very rough start for YMCA. You talk about a lower rated team being able to maybe make a series a bit more interesting. We saw that earlier on today. IQ, our 8th seed, taking a game against defending champions Philadelphia. YMCA not so much able to do so here in this one. They have their work cut out for them in the back half of this series, as I said. As we look to continue on here, of course, it is first round week here on NHL Gamer. These were just the first few games that we'd be covering. Of course, we will be back. Sin and I will be here on Wednesday to cover the other 2 first-round matchups. We'll see games 3 and 4 of IQ and Philadelphia, and we will also see some of the other games as well between H-Reds and Poggers. Again, they are on a slightly different schedule than the other 3 matchups going on. And of course, in Thursday as well, if necessary, the conclusion of those series, that broadcast will be in finish. So we have a long way to go here in this particular playoff journey. Sin, again, we could sit here and dissect every minute detail of these particular matchups, but we will spare the people. I think you have seen enough here today, and hopefully you're hungry for more. I mean, just to make another hungry pun like Sin did earlier. Or maybe not a hungry pun, but we'll continue on. Hopefully you're hungry for more, because Sin and I will be back here on Wednesday as the playoffs continue on. Can't wait for that. Hope you enjoyed the show today. Again, make sure to follow the channel if you're not already. NHLGamer.com for all the information that you need with everything going on under the NHL Gamer umbrella. Of course, our other lower divisions currently having their playoff matchups underway as well. And of course, we hope to bring you the finals of the other divisions as well, as we typically do. More about that a little bit later on. And of course, a big shout out to our sponsors of Wilhelm, Kovalon, Lakritzy, and Viaplay for helping make this season what it is. You can find Sin on Twitter. You see it on your screen, Sin FTW Prod, and of course, Sin for the Win Productions on YouTube. I am everywhere at Tuki24. A big thank you to everyone behind the scenes that helped make this production what it is, what the season has been, and what the playoffs will continue to be. Sin, we will see everybody on Wednesday. Have a good one, everybody. We'll catch you then.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
Wilhelm vie nakkikioskille kotikatsomossa.